and the record shows how Bajans quick to forget. Through the ups and downs and the runarounds, like their memories get reset. But rather it's Alzheimer's or lack of fiber, like their recollection fatigue. And I cannot help but think to myself how they does remind me of me. Cause you forget the promises that they made you inside the manifesto. And you forget running to the IMF was supposed to help it to grow. And you forget removing the road tax fee should have made us all celebrate. And you forget the stickers we still waiting on to put on the license plate. Nobody best don't come for me, because they just does forget plenty. Look, even I will forget easily. So all I wanna better know me. I forget all about Nero, forget about the potholes, forget about the mess with Corey. We soon forget about mighty Gabby. I'm forgetting like everybody. I just forget. From the day we born to the time we gone, we always needed support. And we not too sure if we food secure. Look how much we import. Oh, I wish that we could grow blueberries or plant walnuts in this country. Even coffee beans, cause foods like these that's improve short memories. Cause you forget the call that the PM got to tell the police stand down. And you forget the comments for the Hyatt pronounced by one commission. And you forget the scandal during COVID, the one about the vaccine. And you forget the anti-corruption bill, I guess that's still to be seen. Nobody should get vexed with me if I forget lyrics in commentary, because they just forget daily. Just like Marsha forget about Mottley. I forget all about whole town, forget about water that brown, forget about the island Perry. Sherry, get forget by the ministry. I forgetting like everybody. I just forget. Selective memory in this country, and it's spreading all over. So from Chapman Lane straight past Bell Plain, we need Ginkgo biloba. From a lost decade to a grand charade, now a leader out of the blue. And I cannot help but laugh to myself, how people acting brand new. Cause you forget the state that they had me in, and printing of the money. And you forget the tax on the solid waste, and NSR levy. And you forget the public sector layoffs and spiking unemployment. And you forget nobody outside the shores will enter we government. Forgetting big in this country, we forget about the true DLP. And I hear something about Mr. Lashley, like he forget which one is his party. I forget about the downgrades, forget about the sewage, forget about Sinclair and Shorty. Ralph done forget about Christchurch already. I forgetting like everybody. I just forget.
Barbados, Barbados. Greater will our nation grow in strength and unity, and greater will our nation grow in strength and unity. Somebody says to me, Marcia, you're not tired yet. I said, no, I'm not tired yet. We're not tired yet. We have so much to do, so much to accomplish, guys. We are not tired yet. We have a long way to go. And let me tell you something, if you love your nation, you're going to stay in there. You're going to stick with it. You're going to stay with it. You're going to keep informed. And that's what we do here on the Marcia Week show, because we know that greater will our nation grow in strength and unity. If you believe Barbados is going to grow greater in strength and unity, let me get a thumbs up, please. I know it's difficult because of all that you see happening, your eyes, what your eyes seeing, it doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem that way, but it's faith. And you don't have to go to church and have faith. Everybody have faith. When you get up in the morning and you put your foot down on the ground and you don't check to see if the ground is going to hold you up, you have trust that the flooring of your house is going to hold you up, or that when you step outside on the step, it's going to hold you up. That is faith. And it's going to take faith for us to believe that greater will our nation grow in strength and unity. It's going to take faith. So if you believe that, Teroni, let me see a thumbs up. Good night, Teroni. Oh, and Judy and Jills, they're always here. And because they believe, they love Barbados. I know they love you guys, love your country. Lucinda, Monica, Bonnie, Springer, Bonnie, we can't give up, you know. We can't give up. What is it you want for Barbados? What is it? I'm giving you lots of things to do tonight. So after the thumbs up, I want you to put in the comment section. By the time I get down there, I'll be able to see what is it you want for Barbados. What is your vision for your country? What do you want for Barbados? Just at least put one. And I know it might be a lot of things you want for Barbados. Put one there, please. Shana Pico, Mildred Ben, what do you want? Marcia Miller, good night, Marcia. Marcia, good to see you on tonight. Aaron Hunt, good night. Mashio, good night. Robert, good night. Good night. Yes, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Unity of will and purpose, we shall overcome. Correct. And that's what I'm on tonight. Greater will our nation grow in strength and unity. That's what we sing when we say when we sing the national anthem. Yeah. Jacqueline Ward, how are you? Are you ready to give up? You're giving up, Marcia? Marcia, no. Lori Bob, are you giving up? Joy and faith? No, we're not giving up joy and faith. Faith is in your name. And every time I sit in this chair, I know that there is a plan for Barbados, and I know it's beautiful. And I'm happy to be part of that plan. You're happy to be part of the plan? M. Gardner, good night. Good night, Rose Green. How are you doing, Rose Green? Carol, a pleasant good night to you. Good night, loyal opposition, Karen. Nigel Newton says, peace and vision upon my courageous comrades. All governments are becoming increasingly oppressive. What are we going to do about what is happening in Barbados? Yes, Nigel. Tony Paris, good evening. And Tony, we have a little something rig up for you, so you might be able to call in tonight. So the lines are going to be open, and we are trusting you that it's going to work. And you know, we got some new equipment, some connections to do, and those came in, so we're going to set that up. But in the meantime, we have something we're going to try tonight. Marva Hunt, how you doing, girl? How are you doing? Don't forget to speak positively. We frame our world by what we speak. We create the world we want to live in by what we speak. What is it that you want to see in Barbados? Pauline Maynard, good evening. Thank you for all of your support, Pauline. M. Gardner, good evening. Cammy, how you doing, Cam? Jerry Nelson, good evening. Oh, Sugarcane King. Yes, yes, yes. No, we're not giving up. I know these some have said, Pauline, hold on. We're not giving up. We're believing for great things for Barbados. We believe that we are on track. We believe that it's going to work out. We're not going by what we see with our naked eyes. Yes? James Ford. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Callie B, all the way from the UK. Good evening, Callie. Hustler, good evening. Dolores Paulette. I know, Dolores. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get you on the show, you know. I need to get you on the show. Here's Harris, all the way in Connecticut. I know who you are. Oh, it's good to hear. Could see you tonight. See, I'm seeing you in faith. That's the thing about that's faith. I can't see his Harris, but because he's commented, I believe he's there. It's the same thing that we are believing for great things for ourselves and for our families, right? And we can't see it all the time, but we see little things working out, and we know that that is going to happen. Yes, yes. Teroni is believing that Barbados will be in the light and things will be right. Oh my goodness, he's rhyming up there, rhyming up a storm. Marva says equal opportunities to all Barbadians. Yes. So Teroni says that the rains have come, so the rains of positivity will soon be here. Square Four says that a change will come for my country that is good. That is good. And believe it. Believe it and work towards it. His Harris says a government that will put the people first. A government that will put the people first. Listen, we log on here for all of these good reasons. The good thing about our show, we're not a gossip show. You don't log on to hear the latest gossip. We log on for education, motivation. Yes? Right? Mobilization and agitation. That's what we log on every 4 nights a week for. 4 nights a week. Yes, we must stand up and never give up. And let me tell you, I have joining me here. We're gonna have joining me Amaya. Little Amaya is going to join us in about 2 or 3 minutes. And so I want you to shine. I want you to go ahead, and I want you to Amaya is going to join us, and I want you to share. I want you to like and share right now. Right now, she's still in need of a liver transplant, and she needs a donor. So we're going to talk about that serious business. And as you like and share, I want you to I want you to just listen to this ad that is on the screen. Is it a video or okay, so I'll just talk about the ad. Well, guys, Walk Holy is coming up. Walk Holy is coming up, and that is going to be on the 4th of August. August the 4th, right? 2025. To join, what is Walk Holy? Walk Holy, it's really a Christian expression of what happens on Kadooment Day. Yes, it is a positive expression. So instead of us there criticizing it, we go outside and we praise God in the culture. And I'm very much a part of it. In fact, I was very instrumental in the starting of it, of this band. Yes, and that's me there on the on Dr. Ferdinand, because we live by example, right? We love Barbados, we love the culture, and we live by example, right? These are some of the skaters who join us up there as well, right? And we beautiful costumes and well covered up. August 4th, if you're interested in the band, give us a call. If Dave could put back the flyer on, and throughout the night, we're going to put the information on the screen. So if Dave could put up the flyer, we would really appreciate. Yes. Okay. Sorry. So it's the number is 245-0396. 245-0396. On Friday night, you're going to hear a lot more about Walk Holy. All right. A lot more about Walk Holy. 245-0396. You can call or WhatsApp that number to join Walk Holy. All right. Okay. That's it. All right. Thank you so much, Dave. Well, how many of you remember Amaya? If you remember Amaya, let me see. I'm giving you work to do tonight. Thumbs up if you remember Amaya. Amaya and her daddy. Who remember Amaya? Yes, somebody said good night, Amaya. Oh, somebody says awesome, a beautiful young girl, and things will work out for her. Yes, Tony Paris says yes. He's giving thumbs up. He remembered Amaya. But I can't bring Amaya on here and you haven't shared, because this is an important piece of information that somebody might be listening and can be a donor. So we need you to actually send the word out, okay? We need to send, okay, so people are giving thumbs up that they remember you, Amaya. And I know, Judith, and you were at the concert, and you remember she was there with red plastic bag and they were having a good time. Yes? Yes, Teroni says he remember. Yes, okay. All right. So we're going to bring them in the studio now. You ready, Amaya? Give me thumbs up, Amaya, if you're ready. Yes. Welcome, welcome, Amaya. Welcome, welcome, Amaya and her sister. And she has a beautiful sister, and her sister is Aliyah. Aliyah, and that's there. I don't know. Should I call you your the caregiver at the moment, Miss Yvette Montague? And Yvette has been working so much with these children, and we are just really, really happy to see her today. We're very, very happy to see you, Amaya, to see you, Yvette, and her sister Aliyah. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Thank you, Marcia.
Okay, I see Aliyah. Amaya, can we hear you? Good night, Amaya.
Can I say anything?
She's waving.
She's shy
Amaya,
today.
yeah, you guys, both of you are so beautiful. Amaya and Aliyah, beautiful children. They're very, very beautiful. And Yvette, I know you met these children the same way you met them way before I met them, but I met those children. I think I met them through you, and they are so beautiful. Can you tell us how you got involved with them?
Sure. So last year, around December, I saw Ryan on CBC. I saw his plea for help for his daughter, and it just looked to me like a father who just needed like a little help getting organized. So I thought, let me reach out and see if I can help organize things. With no intention of ever meeting the children. I just thought, let me just help him. Let me just get organized. And then he had me meet him at the hospital. I was actually connected through him through the reporter, through Vanessa. So Anessa. So through Anessa, I met him. We met at the hospital. I met the girls, and there was also other people there. There was Kimmy Holder. There was other people who were participating, and who are still helping behind the scenes. And when I met Amaya, I started helping him by taking them to the appointments. I just started to get to know her and her little sister, and that's how it started.
Yes. Okay. Wonderful. Well, you have been doing a great job. You've been putting out information on them. You have been taking them out. I heard today they went to the beach. Amaya did you go to the beach today, Amaya?
It was Sunday, right? Saturday. We went Saturday to the beach.
Amaya, you went to the beach? Yes. And did you go to the movies too, Amaya? Yes. And what else? What else did you do, Amaya? Tell me one more thing you did.
You could say. What else did we do?
Swim.
We went swimming in the pool.
Went swimming? She said swim? Yes, she went swimming.
Mm-hmm.
Went swimming.
We
Yes,
went walk.
wonderful. And which one did you like? Which one did the swimming, the movies? Which one did I know you like to drink Sprite.
What's
Not
your
Sprite.
favorite?
What's it? What's it?
Plus.
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 You like plus, right? Did she get her plus?
After.
After.
That's the bribe.
Okay. So tell us what's happening with the girls, with Amaya at this stage, in whatever you can say in front, yeah, in front of her.
Sure. So at the last appointment, we know that she should be going in for bi-weekly shots, so twice a week. So we'll now be taking her twice a week to get the shots. She also needs to put a little more meat on these bones. So we've been making sure that the doctor, there's a nutritionist at QEH who's provided her with a meal plan. So we've been sure to get her the extra protein, a few calories that we can add coconut oil to her meals, making sure that she has regular snacks as well so
Mhm.
that she can gain a little bit of weight. And this little one has been helping me take care of her sister. Um, so where we stand right now is
Yeah.
there's been a lot of inquiries. Um, we can't move forward in any way, shape, or form
Mm.
without three things. We
Okay.
need a B positive donor for the liver,
So you said you need a B. I'm writing a B positive donor.
right? And let me just talk a little bit about the process. So the way that it works is we need a donor between, I think it's the ages of 18 and 43. They have to be
Mm-hmm.
in good health. And what happens is we take a little piece of the donor's liver and we add that to Amaya. So the liver regenerates, meaning it grows back. So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody donates part of their liver will grow back within a year. The majority of that growth happens within the first 2 weeks after the surgery. And then what
Oh,
happens is Amaya's body will, if it accepts the liver, will take the liver on as its own and it will grow into a full liver for her. And then
oh,
that will mean
oh,
that it's been a
wow.
successful. Mhm.
Well, I didn't realize that. So she needs a B positive donor, and this donor need to be between 18 to 43.
And in good health, right? So no conditions, no asthma, no diabetes, no high blood pressure. They have to be in good shape. So her dad is an O positive, which makes him a universal donor,
Mm-hmm.
which means he can be a donor. But the surgeons in Colombia, the children, the experts who are going to be doing the surgery, said that they would prefer to have a backup because he's not a match to her blood type. In case her body rejects his liver, they want to be positive as a backup so that that's liver that they can go in case. So it seems like right after so they'll both be on the table. When they put the liver in, they'll be able to monitor her to see if the body is accepting or rejecting. If the body accepts the O positive, the B donor just came for a free trip to Colombia. But if her body does reject the O positive, then the B positive is the one that we would use as well. It's not surgery that will cripple you or anything. You may be down for a week or two recovering, but then after that, you just take it easy. And like I said, the liver will fully regenerate. You have to go to the bathroom? Okay, she'll be right back. The
Okay,
liver will fully regenerate within a year.
within a year. Okay,
Within a year for the
right.
donors, and also for her, we just keep her under. The doctors will keep her under observation. She'll have to go in for regular checkups to just see how the body is continue to respond to the liver. The risk is really more for her, to be honest,
For her. Okay.
because
Can
your
can you
body
tell me? Well,
naturally.
I'm gonna pause you there. Can she hear you now? She's
No,
in the
she's in the
bath.
bathroom.
She can't hear you.
Mm-mm.
So tell us quickly, before she comes back, what if she doesn't get this? How urgent it is for Amaya to get this liver transplant? Right. Tell us quickly the seriousness of it, before she comes back from the bathroom.
People with her condition go in the bedroom just for a minute.
Go in the bedroom
Yeah.
and yeah, go in the bedroom. Just wait. Yeah. Are
So
you sure
children
they're
with
not
her
going to hear?
condition
Mhm.
typically make it to their early teens.
Early teens. So
Yeah,
you're
that's the
talking.
optimistic
So you're
forecast.
talking about she could get to by like 13, 14,
Correct. In fact, her doctors actually said she would not make it past infancy.
past
Yeah.
15.
Past infancy when she was born. So this is a miracle we're seeing right here. A miracle. But we don't want to play on God's time. You understand?
Yeah.
So
So
we know
she's 9 now.
she's 8. She just turned 8.
She just turned 8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Come
Right.
back, girl. She's
All
here.
right. Yeah.
You can come sit
So
with me.
what we'll do, we'll bring you on another time by yourself. So because we're going to keep going until we get a donor. So
Right.
if anybody's listening, so remember she said 3 things.
Right.
Okay. We started off by talking about faith tonight
Right.
and believing, faith. Come on, let's project
That's
our
it.
faith
Every
tonight.
night, who do we pray for? And Amaya. We pray for Amaya every night, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because we know God can heal her, right? And we read our Bible stories, right? And we read
Yes.
our Bible stories, right?
And Amaya loved Red Plastic Bag song about Alive. You remember Amaya? You remember that song?
I'm alive.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we play it and they'll dance.
When I wake up in the morning and I see the sun. Right? You remember that song? No? She said yes?
She said
Okay.
yes.
Okay. All right. So we need somebody between the age of 18 to 43.
Mm-hmm.
If you're 18 to 43 and you're listening, and you are a B positive, you are B positive, your blood is B positive, you could be a donor. You could be a donor. And so this is a very very important thing. And for Maya, we need somebody who is B positive. Be positive, right? And it could be anybody, once age 18 to 43, anywhere in that range, and you're in good health. All right. And somebody's saying here, Amaya, love the smile on your face and the sparkle in her eyes. Amaya, somebody said they love the smile on her face and the sparkle in her eyes. What is she showing us there? What are you showing me there, Amaya? Let me see it.
Show them your comfy slippers.
That's your
Your
slippers?
donut slippers.
That's your donut slipper? Is that a donut on the slippers? Let me see it again.
Show her again.
Oh my gosh, I love those slippers. That's a pretty slipper. Is it comfortable? Is it comfortable? It feels soft.
Cozy, right?
Yeah, it feels cozy and nice. Amaya, is pink your favorite color? Do you like pink? Oh, purple.
You want to see her already? She talks all the time. She's just being shy right now.
She's just being shy right now. That's okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so that was number 1 that we need, a donor, a B positive. Are you B positive? We need that B positive donor, age 18 to 43. What is number 2? You said you need 3 things because I know they have an early
she needs to
bedtime.
gain weight. She needs to gain weight so that she can have the surgery.
She needs to gain weight.
We need to chubby her up.
So she needs to gain weight. So what is she doing right now to gain weight apart from eating enough ice cream and everything?
Oh, it's funny. She's quite a healthy child. Like when she asks for a snack, it'll be like okra, boiled okra.
Oh, she likes okra.
Mm-hmm. She won't. Yeah. Sometimes she'll eat ice cream, but what we do is at Massey, you can get a Pediasure with protein in it. So we try to give her 2 of those a day, 1 in the morning and 1 at night, or she can have half for snacks. Mm-hmm. We add a little coconut oil to that as well. When we cook, even when we do the okra, we'll put a little coconut oil on it. We make sure that every meal she has a protein, like a chicken or a chicken. I know
she likes chicken. She loves. I remember she wanted that chicken. You love chicken, Amaya. I know.
Chicken heaven at Auntie Donna's. Yes, at
Auntie Donna. I wonder if Auntie Donna is watching right now.
And we have to thank all the aunties. There's Auntie Donna, Auntie Valerie, of course, right. Auntie Marcia. We have some uncles out there too who are helping. We have quite a team behind us to help, with everything from the social media posts to, once we're ready for surgery, we have some people who are on standby to really help out with anything that's needed.
Yes.
We reached out internationally. The international resources are difficult because they tend to prioritize their own country. So, for example, I'm from Canada, and we do have a. I'll get you some juice after this, and we have a donor repository, but they prioritize Canadians, right? So it would be very difficult to get a non-Canadian or someone who's not from the country where the database is to have surgery.
Yeah. But I mean, we are 280,000 people. We should be able to find somebody who is B positive and age
Right.
18 to 43.
If I
That's
wasn't B positive, this girl would have already had her liver, but I'm an O positive, unfortunately.
yeah. And then the age range, I'm out. I'm out. I'm out of the range. So you
Right.
have to be 18 to 43.
Correct.
Okay.
That's why some of people ask about her siblings. It's because they're too young. So even if they're a match, they can't do anything because they're too young.
Right. And her father, who got tested, is O positive, and he's willing to do the surgery, but he's O positive.
Correct. So
And,
they just
and
want to back up before they do it.
right. So he's willing to go, but they want a B positive person to be a backup. So
Correct.
let's clarify that then. So the father is an O positive and he is ready to go, but the doctors are saying really what they want is a B positive. But they'll still do the surgery on the father. But the B
Correct.
positive person will have to travel to Colombia just in case of
Correct. So the
anything.
father, no matter what, will be the first choice in donor.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you something. What is so she needs to gain weight? So she needs Pediasure and she needs and she's getting that with some real coconut oil, right?
Good. Yes. Some nice, fresh pressed coconut oil from Barbados. Some
Mm-hmm.
nice, good Bajan coconut oil. And we give her, like, she'll have 3, 4 eggs for breakfast. The girl has a good appetite. So
Okay.
her metabolism is extremely high because of the liver condition. So the girl can
Oh,
eat.
so she needs to eat to put on that weight.
Right. So
Um,
the regimen is breakfast snack, lunch snack, dinner snack. Right. So
mhm.
there's a constant stream of nourishment going into her little
Yes,
body.
yes. And what is number three?
Number 3 are the passports.
Mm-hmm.
So dad is working to get the passports, I do believe, this week.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the 3 things we need: be positive, passports, and weight. And once we have that 3, we're going to unlock the key to the surgery.
Yes. So, Barbadians, those of you who you might be listening and you are a B positive, you are B positive, and you would like to be a backup donor. Remember, the father is the primary donor. He's O positive, but just in case, that doesn't work as the medical fraternity would want it to work, the doctors would want it to work. There will be a B positive donor, right? The surgery is already being set for Colombia, right? In Colombia. And so they need also for Amaya to gain weight. So they're giving her Pediasure with some fresh pressed coconut oil. She eats a lot of eggs and all of that. And then they're getting their passports this week. So really the prayer points are the be positive donor and to be able to gain weight. The everything else is taken care of. If we could just get these things happening, I think that she would be very much on her way. All right, folks out there, and I'm sure I know you didn't ask me for this. Well, you know what? We'll leave it at that. So Pediasure, she needs Pediasure and the fresh coconut oil, pressed coconut oil. That's what gives her the weight that she to help her to put on the weight. Has she been weighed yet?
Not yet. So she's been with me for just a week, but we can see, even Auntie, we can see that she's starting to fill in a little bit with the regular schedule. I've got these kids on a schedule, so it's been very, very helpful. So they're
Yes.
just going to be with me for a couple of weeks. Actually, this one's going back on Sunday, and it's almost like just a summer camp that we're doing here, and then they'll go back to dad.
Right. Okay. So I yes. Okay. Dennis State said he met her at the on Bay Street on that Sunday. Yes. And somebody says, thank you guys for helping Amaya. Somebody says, love you, Amaya. Judy said, love you, Amaya. And Aliyah too. We love you, Aliyah. Right? Somebody says, praying that everything works out for Amaya. She is so beautiful. Yes.
A true network. I even go to a lunch club, the BA ladies, you know who you are, led by Cheryl. So many people have been helping us. I can't even thank people here, and they just jump to help. We have someone who is actually one of your listeners who is sponsoring her school uniform. But I mean, if anybody does want to help, we are looking. She's getting her book list tomorrow. So her book list for school. We need to get her just some school supplies, some notebooks, some pencils, a pencil case. They've got crayons, they've got markers. There's some things we've already. She says she needs glasses. She needs maybe an eye exam.
Oh, Amaya said,
Why do you need glasses?
glasses. I mean, Amaya, why you say you need glasses? You have to tell me first. Why you need glasses?
Why do you need glasses?
Because I I can't see well at school.
You can't see well at school?
Oh, she can't see well at school.
She said sometimes she has to get up and look at the board, right? hmm
Oh, so she needs to get her eyes tested.
She needs an eye exam.
Eye exam. Okay, I understand. I understand. So, Amaya, which you're in class one?
She's going into, is it class 2?
Okay, she's going into class two. Amaya, how are the children at school? Do you have a lot of friends, Amaya?
Hmm?
Amaya, you have a lot of friends? No?
Friends hate me.
Friends what?
No, they don't. She says, no, they don't hate you, do they?
Your friends hate you?
Some of
I
the
don't
kids are a little cruel,
I
but
don't think that
she's
you know
got
that.
some friends that are who love her and take care of her. But some, I won't lie, some of the kids at the school say some very cruel things to her.
Oh, some of them are hateful, but not all.
hmm hmm
Okay. So some are good. So, parents, so they make sure you always tell your children to be nice to others. Yes. But God loves you, right, Amaya?
Right?
God loves you?
hmm
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, Amaya, you know that red plastic bag loves you too. You know that. You know that red plastic bag loves you? Yes, he came. Yes, Uncle Red Plastic Bag. Yes, he came and he sang that song for you and he lift you up and everything like that. You remember? Yes, and he was happy to see you. So there are lots of people who love you. And you remember, Amaya, do you remember the lady who was dancing with you at the concert? Yes, all of those people love you. That was a loving moment, and so many people loved you there. So don't mind those kids; they don't hate you. And listen, God loves you, and we love you too. Oh wow, somebody's saying here, Mr. Dwayne Grazette. Oh my goodness, I have goosebumps. We didn't even ask for anything because we said we weren't coming on here to ask and all that. But somebody says that they're willing to pay for the eye testing along with the book list. Dwayne, why are you going to let me start? Feel like I want to cry.
I know.
I honestly, you and I discussed this that the people have given so much already that we don't want to do that.
No more money for sure. Like I don't think they need money's not going to help this situation at all. We
Yes,
need
we
the three
enough
things that were described. So
yes.
no more money, no more financial donations.
Okay.
But right.
But
But it would be a blessing to get if like praise God for uncles as well. Right. So thank you.
yeah, so I'll put you on to Mr. Grazette. He's a nice man and he has a charity. Okay? And I know that if he says he will do it, he will get it done for you.
Glasses.
Oh, whew. I am very thing. So whew.
It's
Uh
a blessing when people help. I won't lie, I've come across mixed reactions. Some people have been very hateful. That's the only word I can use for it. And some people have been beautiful and loving and helpful. So again, we know, and I've explained to the
I
girls
don't
that
understand why would they be hateful? I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either. But I've explained to the girl that there are some people out there who don't want to listen to God, and then there are people who do, and that it's just part of life because everybody has a choice. So everybody who put up your hand to help, even in prayer, thank you. It means a lot. It
Oh
does mean
my
a lot.
goodness. Oh, guys, I want to ask you that every night, if you could pray for Amaya every night you pray for Amaya. Who could pray for Amaya every night? Is there anybody out there who will put it up on your bed or on your fridge and you remember that every night you pray for Amaya? We started off this show and we talked about faith. And, honestly, when we talked about the glasses, I wasn't expecting anything like that. But Dwayne, you bring a little tear to my eye tonight. Um, and Yvette, you are doing such an amazing job.
Oh, I'm not doing this for any kind of credit. As you know, Marcia, I didn't want to come on the show. I didn't want my name known.
Yes,
I just
I
wanted to
know.
help behind the scene. And if you feel like mentioning something, mention God, mention Amaya. But
Yes,
because you needed the information, that is the only reason you're seeing my
we need
face.
you at this point. And I think Amaya's father is very, very grateful. I saw him, selling. Dave and I have seen him twice. We saw him, I think, either last Saturday or Saturday before. He's a hard working man. And he was selling, to also have to take care of his children. He's not a beggar and he's a wonderful father. And we just want to affirm that on the show tonight. And we want to bless him and bless Amaya. And Auntie Valerie's here. Auntie Valerie's
Auntie
here.
Valerie. Say hi to Auntie
Yes,
Valerie, girls. Yes. Hi, Auntie
Auntie
Valerie.
Valerie's
When we went to
here.
the hotel, remember? Yes, you remember. When we went to the hospital. Oh, you can't see her. You can't see her, but she's there.
Yes, you can't see her, but she says hi Yvette, hi
Hi.
Amaya, and she's saying hi Aliyah.
Oh,
And
hi,
I hope
Auntie
you guys
Valerie.
will see her soon. She's away now. She's in New York. Yes. Hi Pauline. Okay, folks, God has helped Amaya so far. I want to thank the lady who is watching who provided those beautiful dresses for Amaya. Amaya's dresses that we were able to sell them, put the money towards the project. And Amaya had some of the dresses too. She had this nice, pretty one that they were wearing at the event and so on. And other children have been blessed by the dresses where people Okay, there's a message from Cheryl Ford. Okay, I will soon have to get them off because I know that it's getting past your bedtime soon, right?
Mm,
Okay,
right. We're gonna say goodnight. Say
all
goodnight to
right.
Auntie Marcia.
One second, I have there's another message here. No, we read that already. If that's a message, oh, Cheryl Ford. I have a colleague who was a close friend here in the USA who is a retired liver transplant specialist. Wow, I will
This is what
contact.
I can tell you, just to let you know. There are some, I don't know what to call it, but when I first heard about this, I actually reached out to Velma Scantlebury White. And if you know her name, she's a renowned transplant specialist. She's actually Bajan, but she's done transplants all over the world. But the hospital declined her services. They're declining outside services unless we find a team that is willing to take the entire surgery. So they are not willing to consult with, unfortunately, with outside specialists unless, and we can't take the surgery outside anyway because we still need the B positive donor. So that's just a little info. Although we would appreciate the specialists, the problem is that the team is a closed loop team that is not taking outside consultation.
Okay. But
Hmm.
you found the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, they have identified the hospital in Colombia.
Correct.
Correct. So that is already set. But you could still have a word with Cheryl and just
Of
hear what
course.
to say. Cheryl, if you
Thank
could
you.
give me a call at 236-7000. If Dave could put the number up for me, 236-7000. If you could do that, Dave, I'd appreciate it. And Cheryl Ford, you can reach out to me, please. And as somebody says, Yvette, you're an amazing woman. I know I've tried to beg you to come on because, you'll be able to articulate clearly what is needed. And it took you a while to come on, so I appreciate it. But I know it's almost bedtime for them and they need to get their
You say
rest.
good night?
So I want to say good night to everybody. Good night,
Say
Amaya.
good night, girls.
Good night.
Good night,
Good
Auntie
night. Good night.
Marcia. Good
And may
night,
we,
all the aunties and uncles out there who love you. And thank
yes,
you.
yes. Good night. Good night. Good
God
night.
bless.
I hope to see them at the show on Sunday.
For sure. I already have their dresses. We're ready.
Yeah.
Right?
All right.
Dad's
Okay.
coming too.
Yes. Oh, their dad will be there too.
Mhm.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Bye bye. Bye. I see Amaya's hand. Bye, Amaya.
All right.
All right. No plus for you. No plus.
Did you hear that? No plus.
She's smiling. All righty. Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye.
Right. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That was so touching. Oh, I get so emotional with these things. Um, but it's good to know that we have caring people out there. Barbados is such a caring society. We have some wonderful people, and there is no need that we bring to you on the show that you don't help with. And why am I just being overcome with tears right now? And I just want to say, thanks to everybody, first of all, for your prayers and for whatever you have already done. I know a lot of you have given a lot already, and that is to help them to prepare to leave, which you see they're getting the passports, they travel. Eventually oversee that they have all of their travel stuff to, the clothes she needs, everything that she needs. But the hospital, QH will take care of the the direct expenses. So the monies that we raise were for the indirect expenses. And that's some of what is helping to buy the Pediasure and all the things that she needs at this time. Okay. So we said we were going to come on and not ask for any financial donation. We're not collecting any financial donation for Amaya. Okay. Just understand that. So please don't give anybody any financial donation on behalf of Amaya. We're not collecting that. All right. Somebody said they will do the glasses, and there's somebody who is taking care of her school uniform and all of our school, everything for school, and that somebody from the show as well, and others are helping with different things. Loyal opposition, you are amazing. You are amazing, and this is what we can do for this country. Our country is ailing like Amaya. Our country is ailing like Amaya. Yes, and we can do coming together. The part of the anthem that we focused on tonight is greater will our nation grow in strength and unity. And what we're seeing that is happening, this is what just happened here tonight, is about growing in strength and unity. Yeah, it is Barbados coming together. It's a Bajan spirit, which we called anytime we're doing stuff like this on the Marcy Week show, we call it the Bajan spirit. We're giving, we're taking care of others. I want to thank that loyal opposition member who got the fridge for the person. You know who that person is, and the person who left work. We have even a young man, a very young man who, if we have something to get to someone, he takes the time off from work, his lunchtime, and we have somebody we can call on to drop things off and so on. And I just want to thank everybody on behalf of the people, not on behalf of me, but on behalf of the people who are being helped. It's a true Bajan spirit. And that's why we come on the show. That's why we come on 4 nights a week. That's why we do what we do. We have an ailing country. We have a country who is in need of help, who's unhealthy in the head or leadership. We can see it. Needs a surgery, right? We need that. So, folks, I don't know. I just want to say that to you, that when you hear us come on here and we are angry and we are just upset, it's because I know that people genuinely love their country. They do. It's for no other reason. I hear my people. I see them in the diaspora. The people in the diaspora, they are hurting over their country. They're hurting over Barbados. They're hurting about where we are going. I don't know if Dave could play something. Let me catch myself. Dave, you could play the Walk Holy ad or something. Let me get some water. Get just I'm overcome by your kindness, Barbados. I'm overcome by your love, and that's the way you treat me. And I know you love Barbados and you want to see better for your country. I see it in your eyes when I see you in the supermarket, and I see you on the marches, or I see you in town. I see it. I know why you join. I know why you join each night. You're going to make me laugh with this one.
Good morning, my darling Prime Minister. Me darling, me amor. The $300 done. The $300 is finished. So I was wondering if you could give us another $300 because I'm broke. Please and thank you. Bye. Mwah. Good morning, my darling Prime Minister. Me darling, me amor. The $300 done. The $300 is finished. So I was wondering if you could give us another $300 because I'm broke. Please and thank you. Bye. Mwah.
Yes, okay. Well, that got me to laugh a little bit and break it up a bit. Yes, that is funny. That is funny. All right. Well, folks, it is 7:56, and I'm seeing someone in the green room, and he is Mr. Ernesto Cook, and he's going to be joining us at 8 o'clock. So we still have 3 minutes, and he's getting himself ready. And I want you to get yourselves ready, because tonight, folks, we have a journalist of over 16, 17 years of work in journalism, from St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he is doing an amazing job. I know you all listen to St. Vincent Times. Let me see the thumbs up. Those who watch St. Vincent Times. I don't know if Dave has anything to put up to remind the people who this man is that is coming on. Let me see. If Dave, you have anything there that you want to put up. Ernesto, if you send me, just give me a link right away. Yes. And so he's going to come up. Yes. Some people, VOI said yes. They know. Yes. VOI knows him. And tonight he's going to drop some stuff on us tonight. And I need you to like and share. You have a minute. You have 2 minutes. 2 minutes to like and share. Share in your WhatsApp group. Now, you came on here tonight, and all we're asking you to do when you come on is to like and share, right? That's not Ernesto. Is this his page? Okay, this is his YouTube channel. All right, this is his YouTube channel. and he deals with almost some of everything on the channel. I was just looking. Okay, no, all right. So this one, I was looking for one that has his picture up front, right? And no, not this one, not this one. All right, not this one, not this one. Yes, everybody like and share us yet? No? Okay, if you type in Ernesto Cook, and that should come up, Ernesto Cook, and that should come up. Yeah, okay, everybody, we like and share. Now, I have to tell you just quickly, we have a minute, so let me just tell you something quickly. After Mr. Ernesto Cook, I have some questions to ask the NCF of an artist. Her name is Chrissy D. Something has reached me, and I'm trying to ask some questions of the National Cultural Foundation, to ask Miss Carol Roberts of the National Cultural Foundation tonight about an artist called Chrissy D, whether she is still will the government still be helping her to travel overseas? Will she be getting that grant to travel overseas? I want to know what happened on a certain radio program, and if that has done anything, affected her in any way in traveling overseas to Guyana. So I'm going to ask some questions and about that tonight. So I need you to stay on as tonight. Very, very important. We also have Miss McLean is going to come on and talk to us about the paternity benefits. She's going to raise some questions about that. Are you sharing? Are you liking and sharing? Yes. And we have quite a number of some other things that we're going to touch on tonight. Okay. So we need you to stay on and to like and share. All right. So thank you, Tony. Well, without any further ado, I welcome for the first time to the Marcia Week Show, Mr. Ernesto Cook. Welcome, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Marcia. Thank you for having me tonight on your program. It's always a blessing to listen to you and to hear you expound on all these issues that are happening in the Caribbean, and finding solutions, not only just talking, but trying to find solutions so that our people could be a better at the end of the day. There's a lot of rain in St. Vincent right now. We're expected to get a lot of rain tonight. I call the electrical grid that we have here has become a very dry weather grid since Hurricane Beryl. So if you see me drop out at any time, it'll be because that electricity has gone off.
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, it's something that I keep talking about, and I haven't got any response from the electrical company up to now as to why when what you call some just other people in the Caribbean, just some wind blow and the electricity is out since Beryl. So that's been a problem. But anyway, I'm happy to be on. I see you telling people must go look for me. I don't want nobody to look for me because I prefer to stay in the background and hide away.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? And you're talking about all kinds of things. Tonight we're going to touch on so many. I have you only for 1 hour. So get ready, because I know you got to get off. You have to be off by 9 o'clock. So we're going to hit some things, because a lot of things have happened. Even in Trinidad with ROWLEY and so on. I have to ask you. All right. But you came on in particular to talk about, in particular, the global agenda and its impact on the Caribbean. But before you even start that, Mr. Cook, I saw that you have been in journalism. I think it's over 16 years. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I've been there more than 16 years actually. It's probably close to 22 years or so now. It started since about 1997 around there, I think, with the National Youth Council. That used to be a very vibrant organization in St. Vincent, no longer, but it started there, and they had an FM radio station, and they just wanted me to come because had a conversation with the director. He said, "You belong on radio. You have a voice for the radio. You should come on the radio, man." So I got there, but I never liked to be on any radio, although everybody thought that I should be on radio. I hated radio, period, talking on radio. And I went there, did a couple programs, and then everybody wanted me to come back all the time. I said I wanted to be a technical man. I wanted to put up the antennas. I wanted to learn how to set up the radio station, not be on any air. I have no interest in that. I like to be in the background. That's what I told him. I don't want to be anywhere in the forefront of anything. But they had other things, and then it went on from there. And so I went into a private radio station after that, which was the first country music radio station in St. Vincent. In the Caribbean, actually, was in St. Vincent, but I ended up being the morning show host there. And then after that, I went to the US for some training with the Voice of America, the Washington Post. I did a lot of training with them
Oh, wow.
Just after 9/11. I did about 6 months there. So I had radio, I had newspaper, and did UE, did UWI, and then I did marketing, and then I did pharmacy, and I did advertising. I just did a lot of stuff because I said to myself, no matter where I am in the world, I should be able to get a job through doing something.
Yes.
So I did multiple things. I didn't want to stick in one area. But I came back to the media, and I made a blast in St. Vincent. I've been on a morning show for 10 years. I upsetted the prime minister, the opposition leader, everybody I upsetted. And and the show made money and endless money according to the owners. And then I got fed up of that. I went to the US, worked for a while there, did a lot of other stuff, and then I came back to St. Vincent, ended up being the public relations officer for the opposition party, went on radio programs for them, and then I got said, you know what, that politics is no good. I'll leave that alone.
Yes.
And then I went back to the US, came back to St. Vincent, started a newspaper called News 784, and after that I went on, had to get that closed down because during the pandemic, that became a sore point for the government, where they thought that the information I was giving to people was against the narrative. And so a lot of people, and so it got into a lot of spam. They attacked it, ripped down my YouTube channel. The newspaper got really messed up. Google said they will de-index it out, so you will not find it anywhere.
Wow.
So I had to start over, and that's how I ended up with St. Vincent Times. I had that domain. I said maybe I should start over again, and I started over. But this paper seemed to have moved way beyond what I had before. So everything that people do as the good Lord, they would say, everything that they did for bad came for good.
Yeah.
And so everything went on from there. But yeah, like you said, I've been in the media for that amount of time, a lot of experience in it and in other fields as well. So yeah, and
Yes.
I had the opportunity to travel the globe, really, and still doing so. Went to all the four corners, Taiwan, Europe and South America, North, everywhere, and just did stuff and made some great connections. So it has been a good.
I mean, and listen to your story. I mean, I see the struggle that you've been through, and in carrying the voice of the people, Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
And I just want to commend you for that. You're here in the Caribbean, and you're one of the voices that we can look to. That will bring that alternate view, that it's not traditional media, and we know it's going to be professional. You're well researched, and you're giving us something to think about. And often you will say you're asking questions, go and research, but we know we can turn on to St. Vincent Times, and you're going to come with something that is going to cause us to think. And that's the kind of media that we're interested in, and we're very, very happy for what you're doing. Now, let's get right into our discussion for the night. Now, people, you hear people talk about this global agenda, Mr. Cook, and you talk about it on your program. I was watching your programs this week. They send them to me all the time. Barbados, it's all over Barbados.
Yes.
And what is, if somebody's listening, what for the first time they're hearing the term global agenda? What are you talking about? What is that?
Um, I had asked myself the same question many years ago. I heard it. When I heard it, I said, "Okay, global agenda. All right, okay, whatever." And then I start hearing a lot of what people call conspiracy, you know. And then I said, there must be more than just a conspiracy or something. It has to be something. Nobody don't just call a word out of nowhere, except you're the Almighty God, and men are not. So something has to be going on. And then, we came to the conclusion, and everybody by now today knows the global agenda is, whether it's just a bunch of people, a cabal who deal with finance, politics, the pharmaceutical industry. It's a group of people who really have money and set the the agenda for what takes place really in this world. Whether you're elected as a prime minister, whether you're elected as a president of a nation, this cabal, what as the people would say, what they call in America the deep state, is just a group of people who sit down and plan what is really to take place in different nations, despite you having a government. All right, having a government incumbents, it doesn't matter. Yes, they're elected. Some are selected, because you would find people who wish to get into office can never get into office. And then you will find some people who really don't even have the talent for being there, who really can make no sort of serious decision to really effect change, get into office. And you ask yourself, why did they get there? And so you realize right away that they were selected, and they ensure that they are selected by these people all around the world who fund campaigns, and fund the destruction of mankind, really, to their own benefit, as the people would say. So it's become a simple thing, and a lot of people have understand it now. And that is why, like you keep saying all the time on your program, people are waking up to what's really taking place around them. So the global agenda, in short, is just a group of people who have money, they have great influence, and they set agendas for prime ministers, presidents, what's happening around this globe.
Excellent. And you keep you're one of those in the Caribbean. I'm going to call you a watcher, and you warn, you watch and you warn. And so you're talking about organizations like
Yes,
the United Nations, the
correct.
World Economic Forum. Would that be
Mhm.
correct?
That's
World,
correct. Absolutely.
World Health Organization, which we're going to talk a bit
Absolutely.
more, the International Monetary Fund, the World Bank, and
hmm
then there's some large multinational corporations.
Corporations. Yes,
Now,
yes.
yeah, there's some agendas. There are particular agendas that they that they are about. That they present, right? To solve global problems. And what would you say might be some of those agendas?
Well, the last some of those agendas, and over the years we'll have seen people think that when you hear war, it's
Mm.
because Marcy and I have two countries and we're just hating each other, and we just want to drop some bombs on each other. No, 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 no. It's not. It's nothing. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. These are things that are designed. So that's part of an agenda. That's part of what
Mhm.
they do, right? So they
Mhm.
design wars among nations, and they make us pick a side, right? So that's
Mhm.
how they do it. And they talk about,
Mm.
when you heard about apartheid many years ago, apartheid wasn't just because there were blacks and white in South Africa. That was part of an agenda as well,
Mhm.
right? And when you see the last pandemic, which a lot of us call a plan, that is part of so all these things, health, wars, and crime itself is just
Mhm.
part of an agenda as well. And
Mm.
and lately you've been hearing about, crime as a public health. I mean,
Mm.
really now. I mean, crime as a public health. What is the hospital going to do about crime? Really, the only thing the
Mhm.
hospital does is, if somebody gets a shot, they go there to try so they can get a injection or save their life from a bullet. But I mean, let's really get serious about these things, right? But
Mhm.
the propaganda around all these things is what they do. And because we've been so educated from the West,
Yes.
this is where many of the problem comes in. The Western education, it's really been a propaganda movement for years. And it's now that many of us are waking up to really understanding that it's just been propaganda. It's not been anything real, you know. And we've been made to believe that, you know, we could hate each other. And if we are Indian or if we are African, we should really not be one with each other with their problems, and we should just be against each other all the time, even though we are living on a 2 by 4 place. You know, so all these things are part of the agenda, how they can conquer and divide. The simple thing, you use a word all the
Yes,
time, conquer and divide. And so that's just part of it. So
part of
you see
what
the
they do.
health, you see the crime, you see the wars, all these things are things they use. And these are the things that are in the forefront these days
Mm-hmm.
of the agenda in getting us divided. Yeah.
Yeah. And very, very well said. And we think of, if I can add some of those other agenda items or efforts that they are presenting to solve these global problems, such as climate change,
Oh, nonsense.
and you talk about the health, the poverty reduction,
Hmm.
and digital transformation, which you just made a video on it, economic development. They talk a lot about global security, right, and sustainable development. Now, when and there's a reason I'm reading out all of these things, and I ask you that question because I want you, in light of your definition of what the global agenda is, what are some of the efforts of this agenda in seeking to solve global problems? So what are some of the organizations which we've just listed them that are part of this global agenda? Mia Motley,
Uh-huh.
I want to ask you, sir,
Yeah.
how do you see Mia Motley and her role in the Caribbean, right? And this global agenda.
But you know, I, I hate to pronounce on leaders, but because I know how sometimes people can be in a nation when you talk about their leaders. So sometimes I refrain from talking about their leaders. But
Listen, you can say
um,
you can say whatever. I'll take the cussing for you. I'm
listen,
asking you, you're a journalist. I'm asking you a straight question, sir.
listen,
Well,
listen,
how do you
listen.
see Mia Motley and her role in the Caribbean and this global agenda?
Well, I tell you what. You know, like I said, some leaders are chosen. Um, we used to have elections back in I mean, I would say centuries ago, elections were genuine elections, really. I said now we should just choose people and put them into office who can carry out an agenda. That's just basically what is going on. Mia Mottley is a very vocal woman, brilliant woman. Nobody can take that away from her in her gift of the gab. You know, very brilliant in terms of that, and making a speech on the world scene towards world leaders. We would have heard her name called more than once, stating that, you know, she could be the person to lead the UN one of these days, you know, after her time in office. You know, so we know that she has, you know, a God spirit in her life, a bright future apparently ahead of her, based
Mm-hmm.
on the agenda, based on the global agenda. And so, to me, in office, what you would find is that leaders like Mottley, you know, like Gonzalez, others who've been there long, they seek to be, after their time in office, go on to greater things. So the agenda that what they carry out in while they're in office is basically setting themselves up
Mm-hmm.
to be a part of the larger system. So I
Uh-huh.
show that I show that I can carry out the mandates of these organizations, whether they are of any benefit at all to my people, right? Because remember, the mandates from the WHO, from the WEF, from the IMF, from the BlackRock organization, all these people with the money who fund these
Mm-hmm.
campaigns around the world. Remember, the agenda that I am carrying out is not my local agenda, it's their agenda. And the agenda is basically to get my people in alignment, right? And to get them under surveillance, because if you don't carry the narrative, you're a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So Motley is, and I've seen her, I've listened to her at CARICOM meeting at UN, and you can see that kind of spirit in her. I think what she has done over time, while she is the Prime Minister of Barbados, I can see her shifting away from her local role, even though she's Prime Minister, and taking on a more global responsibility. And that's just part of ensuring that you know that I am part of what you are. And I'm
Mm.
ready. I'm ready to ascend to whatever you have for me in the wings. I'm waiting for it. And I'm sure that I'm capable of doing it. So you find a lot of these leaders in the Caribbean, you can see them. They've been there. They are prime ministers. There's a local agenda, but you see them moving away and taking on a more global and regional agenda. So you
Mm.
find a lot of things in their country start drifting apart, and you see maybe the healthcare system start just dilapidated, the crime spiraling out of control, and you ask yourself, but she's a great leader. Why are all these things just happening under her watch then? Right? And that is because while she is local and while she's the prime minister of Barbados, she also has to function at a regional and a global level based on the agenda set by these organizations.
Mm. Yeah,
That is what that,
yeah, a very interesting observation. And I want to ask you this question. Do you think that is it a thing where you think she chose them or they chose her?
no,
The reason
you.
I'm asking that, hold a minute. I note that she seems to be their darling. That's how it
Yes,
appears.
yes.
I don't know. Is that how it appears to you and others in your country? That she somehow seems to be more connected with this global agenda than all the other prime ministers in in the Caribbean? Would you say that?
In no, well, in these organizations, and I am so happy that I had the chance, like I said to you, to be trained, to get training from places like the Voice of America and Washington Post, because when you sit in these organizations, you really get a sense of what these big countries are really about and these organizations are really about. Let me tell you, you can't choose them; they have to choose you. You are you are nothing. You are nothing.
Okay.
We choose you, right? We choose you. And how do we choose you? So we look at you as a youngster, you aspire to be a lawyer, a doctor, or somebody in the public sphere who probably can command some respect. So, Marcia, here you are every
Mm.
night on a program. You're commanding great respect of the nation. You're getting a lot of people to follow your program, and people are believing in your thing, and they wouldn't call what you're doing helping the nation. They would say that's Marcia's doctrine, right? That's how they put it. That's Marcia's doctrine. And they see that people are buying into it, and they say, well, maybe we can tap into Marcia. Marcia's a brilliant candidate, and that's how they do it. So you and I, we're here and we're genuine in what we do, but these people don't see genuine. They see someone who can be a leader and who have command of people and who can influence people. And once they see that, they said, you know what? Let's go. Let's launch this. Let's see if we can get her into politics. Let's see if we could get him into politics. Let's see if we could get him to the top of the spear. And once they get you to the top of the spear, they would simply remind you, because all these groups would come and they would fund your campaign. And they would simply remind you at the end of the day, well, we had this group came and they fund you and we give you lots of money. Well, it wasn't me. These are the people who really backed your campaign. And then you realize, wait, I'm in a corner. There's no escaping now. Right? And so you
Mm-hmm.
just have to go forward with the simple agenda. That's how it
Mm-hmm.
happens. Nobody, you can't get into that. They have to pull you into it.
Yeah, I mean, very captivating. What you're saying, very very deep analysis there, Mr. Cook. I wanted to look, and this is important, because you see, Miss Motley has been elevated in the region and globally as this Caribbean leader that everybody looks up to. But as you are saying, it seems like she has almost been knighted, or some people say anointed, or chosen as someone who's going to carry out the agenda of the global
Oh yeah.
elites.
Yeah.
Right, the global order. Now, one of the things that we notice is at the UN,
Mhm.
that whenever she speaks, she wears the UN badge right there. We cannot find we can never find her, sir, wearing the flag of Barbados. When I see people from St. Vincent at the UN, they're wearing the St. Vincent flag. Okay. When I
Yes.
see them, when I see even Canada, even when Trudeau was there, and he's a global young leader, as they
Oh yeah.
consider Miss
Oh yeah.
Mottley to be, he wears the Canadian flag, not Miss Mottley. That what you see there is what's called is sustainable development goals.
Correct.
That's their
Correct.
symbol. Now,
Hmm.
I want you as a journalist, you see that if that was happening to your prime minister, if whenever your prime minister has anything official in the country, outside of the country, they wear that instead of their flag. What would be your conclusion as a journalist looking at that?
Well, clearly, you have to. These things have what they call a. Let me see how to put this. These things have what you call an order. Well, let's just say an order, and we identify you to certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So here I am. Remember, symbols are very powerful, eh? Symbols
Mm-hmm.
are very powerful and they send messages. So all these things are coded messages. So I'm up here, I'm wearing this all the time when I'm at these kind of meetings. It's for those in the order to know, yes, I am here and I am here. I am here. I'm identifying. This is the symbol, right? So like I said, symbols are very, very powerful. It's like some people wear a ring, and the ring is part of an organization. When you see me
Mm-hmm.
with the ring, you don't have to ask a question, right? So that is what it's really going on. But I have often questioned why she wears that. I did myself. I didn't want to draw any conclusions, but it sends a powerful message that I'm on with the agenda. I'm done with the agenda, and I am willing to carry out the agenda and have it fulfilled. You must remember Barbados. Barbados has a rich history, Marcia.
Mm.
Barbados has a very rich history. It's one of the closest places to Africa. It was one of the closest places to Europe with the slave trade. You know what happened. The Lords of London's, they used to be in Barbados all the time. You know, you talk about a lot of a cultist movement. If you go back in history, you would have heard about Barbados and what used to transpire. So Barbados has a rich history in a lot of things. It's a very significant country on this
Mm-hmm.
earth, and the World Organization depend on Barbados for a lot of things. They depend on Barbados for a lot of things. So,
Like what?
well, you know, if you look in Barbados, you may see some. I think there is an office for what you can let me know. Is there a UNDP office in Barbados? A
The
UN office?
IDB, yes, IDB,
Is there a
IDB.
right? Is there a UNDP as in the UN? Is there any
Yes,
UN office in Barbados?
yes,
Right,
yes, yes.
right.
Yeah, you can correct me, but I'm almost sure of that. Yes, and
Yeah,
there is an
I do
ID.
think so.
Yeah, and
Right,
there is an IDB, IADB right here as
right.
well.
And there's of course a U.S. embassy in Barbados.
Yeah. Okay.
If you look at these things, they're strategically placed in certain countries.
Mm.
So Barbados has a rich history. I think there's one in Trinidad, right? There's one in Jamaica. And there are reasons why they're in these countries. These countries are very, if you look back in history, they were subservient to the crown, which is Britain. And and if you know history, you will know that America at one point in time was also under British rule.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of connections and other things are happening here. But these discussions and European Union office as well, EU. So there's a lot of these things are deep discussions and they would take a lot of time to go through. And I don't think we could do it in 1 hour. It would take a
Yes.
lot of time to go through. I only have an hour. I'm so sorry, but there
Yes.
are a lot of things that need expansion. And what we're doing is just touching the surface. You
Yes.
know, if we go through, we have to go look at why the EU have an office in Barbados, why the UNDP must have an office in Barbados, why the IDB must have an office in Barbados, why the US Embassy must be in Barbados, why this, why this. It's so many things. And if you go through all of them, people will be amazed as to why they're really there. And it's not what many of us think why they're there. And it will take all night, Marcia. It will be an all-nighter. It will be a prayer meeting. It will last till the morning. And we don't
We
have the
don't
time
have
for
that,
that
but
tonight.
it's interesting analysis that we're doing here, and I'm going somewhere with
Yes.
this discussion, Mr. Cook, because if it is that you're in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, my friends in Trinidad, those in Jamaica, all about, they're saying to me, it seems to us, just as you
Yes.
said, that Miss Mottley has been chosen, and she is the one that they are going to use to bring in that agenda into the region. She is the door opener for it. My
Yeah.
question is, are we should the Caribbean
Mhm.
be concerned about this global agenda? Is there what are the should there be any concerns of Caribbean nationals? So we're seeing this thing; it's unfolding before our eyes. We're hearing terms and names of organizations that we didn't know anything about.
Yeah, we didn't know
World
anything about it.
Economic Forum, all of these things. So, should we be concerned? And if so, why?
We have to be concerned. We have to be concerned when anything foreign. You're human. You're a human being, and if anything foreign enters your body is going to show signs. It's going to give you a headache. Your eyes either going to scratch you. You're going to sneeze. So you have to be concerned when foreign bodies enter your region. We must be concerned, utterly concerned, because they don't have our best interests at heart. And it's so sad when many of our politicians neither. They don't have our best interests at heart. They don't, and that's just the obvious thing. There are many people who should be in office who really have genuine concern, but they would never enter office because people would say they're pious and they're playing holier than thou and they're being sanctimonious. So these people will never get to office, right? So, but we have to be concerned when we hear the WEF talk and when the IMF say this, the globalists, the World Bank, the UN, whatever the agendas are, we have to be concerned. And one of the most significant agendas that have happened in the last 5 years since the pandemic is WHO and their grand agenda for so many lockdowns where you can rewrite all of the systems in the world to have this global, what you call governance, per se, so that everybody will be in lockstep, right? That is where the crux of the matter is. That is something I want to talk about as well tonight, that part.
Yes, we'll go right in
Because,
it because that's where we are right now because
yeah,
we want to know, we want to understand why should we be concerned about the WHO? Somebody's listening and said WHO, all these conspiracy theorists again. Why should the Caribbean national be concerned about that?
Marcia, Marcia, it is not a conspiracy like people want to tell. Remember they told all of us that we were conspiracy theorists during the COVID pandemic. But we turned out to be what? Very correct. And so correct. And today we have many friends who are just falling apart, maybe in their health. I mean, anybody could get sick, but these things that they pumped into their arms, you know what happened? It turbocharged every other thing that they have in their body. So look at it. I had friends, Marcia, who were reeling with, listen to this, good, had a cancer. It went into remission with health, with in terms of changing their diet. No drugs, Marcia, no chemotherapy, just the diet.
Yeah.
Exercise, more fresh air, more sunlight, drinking the water, getting early rest in the night. Marcia, they reversed the cancer of almost 80 years. They went into remission and they were free and going on for almost 20 something years. Perfectly healthy individual. Every exam that they did in the US to look for cancer cells, nothing could be found. You hear what I'm saying to you? Up comes this whole agenda. And what happened? She was among them who got scared and said, I don't want to die. Pump that into her arm. And what happened, Marcia? In 6 months, that cancer just roared back like a lion, Marcia. She's in her grave, 6 foot right now. You hear what I'm saying to you? 6 foot. So we were a conspiracy. We knew. And we didn't come out of a conspiracy because we went to bed one night and dreamt that the juice was not good. We didn't dream that. It was right on Pfizer's website. They said to you, here's the list of problems from what I'm going to tell you to take. So did Johnson and Johnson. Nobody dreamt up these things overnight. They were there in black and white for all of us to see. And what is happening again? Let me go through this, and I want people to understand this, right? Follow the bouncing ball here, because this is very, very, what I would say, maybe alarming to other people, but it's going to happen again, whether you like it or not. In 2019, Marcia, the WHO carried out something called assessing and prioritizing hazard risk in Kazakhstan. That's a country between Russia and China. A lot of people don't talk about it, right? They had something called assessing and prioritizing the hazard risk. That's in 2019, Marcia. And that was to support health emergency response in that country, and trained along with them 20 emergency professionals from other countries as well. That was for pandemic preparedness. None of us heard anything about that. I never heard a single soul talk about that, because you're not supposed to know about these things, Marcia. I mean, they're on the WHO website, but who cares about WHO on their website? Who go looking for these things? Nobody does. But that was done in 2019. So all of this training was done for pandemic preparedness. Nobody heard about it. Nobody talked about it. And then what happened? We declared a pandemic in when? 11th of March, 2020.
Yes.
So the WHO was fully prepared for what was to come in 2020, right? But we weren't. We didn't know. We didn't know. All right. So we went on and they talked about all these things. In 2024, so we were all in 2021, 22, 23, Marcia, we were locked down. We were told to wear masks, don't go to our neighbors because COVID is like a demon. It travels by the night, and in the day it's fine. We were told that if we go to a restaurant, keep the mask on, but we could take it off, Marcia, when we wanted to eat, and all of our bowlers could go into one another's mouths and faces, and we wouldn't catch it. Just put it back on when you finish eating. I mean, how stupid could people be, right? Right. And then in 2024, after all this was done and all the mental health issues that came up from people just being locked down in a house, right? All the mental health issues that came up and all the other diseases and problems that we're having since then. In 2024, quietly again, the WHO and the UNDP joined forces with who again? Kazakhstan. It's like this country is like a melting pot for WHO, right? In a new initiative they call what? To boost pandemic preparedness and health infrastructure. And that took place in September 2024. Did you hear about that in the news? Who the hell cares about that? Nobody heard about that. That's not for you to know or I to know. Nobody need to know that. That's not your business. And so that went away quietly. And a year after that, up comes 20th May 2025, Marcia. Nations adopt this historic pledge to guard against future pandemics. Well, we heard about nations going to Geneva to discuss the pandemic treaty, didn't we? We heard about it.
Yes.
But guess what? Even though we heard about it, was it in the news every day and night like when we had it?
No.
It maybe came once in the newscast and that was it. Why? Because that's not your business. That's not for you to know. I mean, we discuss it among ourselves on the new platforms. Yes, that's right. We discussed among ourselves. But did the government talk about it every day on their program? No. Why? Because it's not for you to know about. It's not your business. It's for me in charge of the government to just go to Geneva and sign away all of your rights without you knowing. So that happened in May 2025, where the nations pledged and signed, and it decided on July 19. Are we all going to sign it? And to hell with the rest of the world. But of course, America didn't sign it because they pulled out of the WHO. And I think a couple of the countries didn't. But guess what? All of the countries in the Caribbean, where these puppet governments exist, did sign that agreement. And of course, nobody had a press conference. They didn't come back and they didn't tell us all about these things. We just know that they went and they did what they had to do. Right? So it's strange enough that after all this is happening, Marcia, up comes the training of trainers by the WHO, which they call emergency preparedness and response simulation exercise for pandemic preparedness. Just after all this is signed,
But
up comes,
if I can stop you
yeah.
there, as you said, simulation exercise. I remember, and somebody, I think it's Pedro who put it here, but I remember, and I agree with Pedro because I remember researching that they had. Oh, it's on the screen. That they
Yes.
had there was a no, that's not the one. There was a simulation event
Yes.
of the COVID, that was held. At least it was probably about 2 years before COVID hit.
Correct.
You remember
Yes,
that?
yes, it was a tabletop exercise.
Yes.
I can't bring the name right now, but it was a tabletop exercise carried out by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation,
Yes.
along with I think it was either a Harvard or another university, and it actually talked about where COVID would break out, and just where they said in the simulation is exactly where it broke out. So don't think that these things happen in isolation.
And
They know what they're doing.
I know they're going to do another simulation event.
Correct. So here's what's happening now. So here you have training of trainers in Kazakhstan again, right? In Kazakhstan again, emergency preparedness response simulation exercise for pandemic preparedness and crisis communication. And when did this took place, Marcia? While all of us were distracted with Epstein and the Epstein files,
yes.
Nobody cared. That's when it took place. July the 7th to the 11th. That is when that exercise took place. But guess what? The whole world was taken up with the Epstein files, so nobody cared about that again. And I often tell people, whenever you see all these things taking place, the distractions, that's when the real things are happening in the background that you're not supposed to know about, right? Pay attention, pay attention. So from the 7th to the 11th of July, the WHO office in Kazakhstan, they carried out what you call a simulation exercise. And guess where the financial support for that came from? It came from the pandemic fund. If you told me that it came from the office of the Ministry of Health in Kazakhstan, maybe if you told me that they just wanted to get some training for the doctors, in communication crisis, in pandemic preparedness, if you told me that the country just wanted training and was sponsored by the Ministry of Health in that country, I would say, you know what? Forget that, man. That's just the people wanted to be. This is just the people want to be aware of how to respond in crisis. But when you come to tell me that it was sponsored by the pandemic fund, nothing to do with the country, but the simulation exercise took place there again. This country is like a melting pot for the WHO and everybody else. I really need to go there or maybe really research it to find out what the hell is so special about Kazakhstan. I really want to know. There must be something special about that country, why WHO loves it so much, right? But anyway, it took place there, and it brought together about 30 professionals from different regions of the world to do this training and this simulation exercise and communication response and all this kind of stuff. So all that happened while we were so distracted with Epstein and Epstein. Who's Epstein? Let's study Epstein, and Didi. Let's study the Didi trial and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
All this was happening. But guess what, Marcia? Guess what's so special about this whole thing? I said, you know what? There must be something why these people are doing these things and nobody's hearing about it. And following that exercise, I noticed all of a sudden that the BBC at one time talked about Nipah virus. I said, what the hell in the world is Nipah virus? And then I went to look it up and I realized it's something that happens a lot in Central Asia, like in India, in Pakistan, and those countries over there. And I said, but that's interesting. Why all of a sudden they're talking about Nipah virus all of a sudden? So this is very interesting because you must always remember, Marcia, and I'm going to take you back quickly before I come back forward. In the 1990s, when they went into Iraq and they talk about all these mass weapons of mass destruction,
Yes.
I went back to a lot of newspapers and online papers to find out if they were talking about what they were talking about before that. And guess what, Marcia? Do you know that almost every day for the last 5 years before the attack Iraq, everybody was just talking about Iraq and weapons of mass destruction? So they actually tell you what they're about to do before they do it. But we don't pay attention to anything really, because we're distracted with all the music, all the nice time and all these things. But pay attention, because guess what? So I'm coming back now. And all of a sudden, BBC, Nipah virus. And just the other day, I realized CBS talk about some Nipah virus in one of those states in America. It's just, they talk about it oddly in between to start program your mind without thinking that you're being programmed, but we don't pay attention to it. So this is happening. And then I see this University of Minnesota. All of a sudden, a University of Minnesota starts talking about Nipah virus on their website. Why the hell would a university in the US talk about Nipah virus? About where is Minnesota? In the central part of America. That's about, probably, if you check it on a map, it would be about 7,000 miles away from India. Well, I mean, why would I be concerned about something that took place somewhere in a village in India? It's like the University in America. It's so weird, right? And then I said, this is not weird. This is exactly how the bouncing ball goes. You have to follow it, right? And so I went to their website, and they had a press release on the 7th of July talking about the Nipah virus, and 2 persons were infected in India and 1 person died. And they talked about the village in India where the infection came from, and all of this went on and went on. And then I said to myself, that's very, very, very interesting. And at the end of the article, they were talking about some issue about a vaccine for Nipah virus. And I said, my beloved people, wow. And then I said, where is this thing taking place? So I followed the bouncing ball, and I said, so who's doing the research for this, second arm juice, what they want to bring about? And lo and behold, I saw that the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture. So what the hell the USDA is doing talking about a Nipah research? And then I went there and I found that they have a research project called Nipah VLP arm juice, because if I say the word with V, these institutions might want to ban us. So they had the Nipah VLP arm juice for what? Pandemic preparedness. I say, my, the United States Department of Agriculture. What are they?
Agriculture.
I don't understand this. This is just weird. Agriculture? Yeah. So I thought this is crazy. And so it's under their Department of Zoonotic and Emerging Disease Research. And then they had their project number, and then they had the project type, which is said is a non-assistance cooperative agreement with another company out of Europe who's also looking into the arm juice for Nipah. And that company is getting funding from the foundation of this guy who thinks that he's a doctor, and so to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars for the Nipah arm juice. And I said, this is very interesting. So the start, and guess what? What is really funny about this is that, guess what, Marcia? The start date for this research, for this Nipah arm juice, was August the 15th, 2024. That's when the research began for it, right? But you must remember what I told you earlier when I was speaking. On September the 16th, the WHO and the UNDP joined forces to hold an exercise, or they had an initiative in Kyrgyzstan to do what? To boost pandemic preparedness and health infrastructure.
Right.
September,
and that was August. Yeah.
September 16, 2024 is when that took place. And when you go back now, you find that the start date for the Nipah arm juice was August the 15, 2024. Could anything be more like, again, we're just hypothetically speaking there.
A big coincidence.
Yeah, we don't know anything. We're just talking crap right here now. We don't know anything, and so the end date for this research into this arm juice for Nipah is actually August the 14th, 2026.
Wow.
I wonder.
Very. So it'd be so good. Let me tell you, it'd be so good to have this on a timeline. So here it is,
Yep.
August the 15th,
Mm-hmm.
right? 2024,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yep.
then we're looking at September 15th or 14th.
That started on. You're talking about the research.
Yes.
The research for the arm juice started on August the 15th, 2024.
Right.
The training for the pandemic preparedness with the WHO and the UNDP began on September 16th, 2024.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. So basically a month after the start of
after.
the research. Right.
Yeah.
And the end date for this research
2
would
years
be
later.
August the 14th, 2026.
Wow.
So we're having some timeline here. Now, let's go to the other, fanciful stuff, because we're not anything. We're
And
just
listen, you only have 11 minutes with me. You're going to have to book. You have us now. You're whetting our appetite here.
Yeah. So I'm gonna finish it. And I'm gonna give you the ice cream now. I'm just gonna finish it off right now. Dessert now. So this arm juice, basically, I just tonight, and as I was getting here, Marcia, I had somebody in New York. I sent them on a mission to find something because I just couldn't find something. And then they sent something to me and they said, listen to me, don't call my name. I said, no, come on, we're not going to call your name. And they said, the Nipah arm juice, the candidates for that is basically progressing towards mid-stage human trials in Bangladesh. Now, it is supported by 17.3 million investment from the guy who thinks that he's a doctor.
We can say Bill Gates.
Yeah, well, you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
And what they're saying here to me is that this arm juice is also being developed now by a company called Public Health Vaccines, and they have already advanced through early stage clinical trials. So that is already done. That's already been done, Marcia. That's already been done. And this phase that they're entering now is the phase 2 trials. Guess what? To assess its safety, its efficacy. Where did we hear that word before? The efficacy.
Yeah.
And the tolerability and the manufacturing ability to induce an immune response. That's the stage they're at right now. Remember I said to you, so the research is ending in 2026. This is part of the research, but this is phase 2 of it. This is the phase 2, and the phase 2 is human trials and to test its efficacy. All of this thing is just coming together nicely. And where are these candidates or guinea pigs? They're in Bangladesh, in Central Asia. That's where they'll be testing this thing.
So that means, we're going to all of a sudden hear an outbreak probably in Bangladesh now.
Absolutely. So we have to look for Central Asia. And again, it's always just like the last one that we had in a wet market somewhere in some place in China. It's again in Asia. Right? And funny enough, while they said that it was the China, whatever it was, and it started there, you see again where the research is taking place in the United States of America.
Yes.
It's just, but we don't know anything about
because
that.
They were funding. They were the ones funding the research.
And that is not misinformation. Fauci admitted to it. Fauci admitted to that in congressional hearings, and we can provide all the details. There are videos of congressional hearings. There are articles from BBC, CNN. He admitted to it. So let's not get twisted on this platform neither. But the point about it is that that's where we are in phase 2. So basically, they're saying really and truly that Nipah, the virus, basically is fatal. It's highly fatal. And it can cause up to a 75% mortality rate. That is pretty high. But like I said to you, they're in phase 2. They're in phase 2 of the guinea pig, and they're looking at efficacy and the manufacturing ability and all that kind of stuff. Hey, what? Guess what?
I mean,
So
just
I
to
am
I
giving you.
wanted to talk about some other things, but just even just in WHO, we can't even go any. I
We
mean,
can't go. We can't go anywhere.
your hour is basically up, but I
Yeah.
mean, this has been so informative. Now we have 7 minutes, and I want us to talk about um what do we do? We're listening to you, but tonight,
Yeah.
and a lot of people are saying this is very informative. I hope people are sharing and liking.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
least hit the thumbs up button. That's going to help us the algorithm. Now, folks, and I'm
Hmm.
asking on behalf of everybody, really, what do we do? Because I
And
remember we were trying to talk to people about this, the last juice,
yeah.
and some people went and took it. I know people the same issue, where
Yeah.
they're suffering in their bodies. And if that's you and you're listening, I really am not into trying to condemn people in any way. We are one people. We're not going to let that separate us. You are
Correct.
our brother, you're our sister, and anything you need, any kind of help, we're there. We're
Yeah.
just saying that it's important to get information. Everything we're talking about tonight, you go and research it yourself.
Yes. It's
Go and
available.
research it. The research is available.
Yeah.
Don't get distracted. Research. But what we're saying, at least give a listening ear this time. Listen, please. Now, for people who are listening and they say, "My God, something's going to hit us again." What do we do? What can we do? Are we just sitting ducks? What can we do, sir?
The thing is, you know, we are living in a world where many of us, and you said the word right, many of us, um, I don't, you know, sitting duck is a probably is a good word because sometimes we try our best to really do what we have to do to speak to people to let them know that these are respiratory issues. And I'm not going to say the V word behind it because I'm not a medical doctor for this platform to get rid of us. But I'm going to say right away that these are respiratory issues. All of them that are happening, they're respiratory issues. And so once our immune systems are fully intact and we're using, all these natural products to, we eating healthy foods instead of the greasy things to clog our arteries, and we're getting our daily exercises, we're getting enough vitamin D, just like how we tried to survive during the last session. It's basically what we can do again to survive this next session. We really can't tell our government anything because once there is an armed juice again, they will force it down our throats. That's what they will want to do. We have to form a pushback. As usual, we have to go and push back because if we don't push back against it, and when I say pushback, I'm talking about bringing up these things to light, talking about them, calling on your governments to let you to say to you, calling on your governments to say to you, what did you sign at the last Geneva Convention with the WHO? Explain to us what exactly did you sign that could put us in jeopardy, right? What is it that your Ministry of Health can do to advocate for better healthy lifestyles that can ward off many of these things that are respiratory, because they're respiratory in nature. They're respiratory. And if you're always on the go, exercising, getting a lot of rest, getting your vitamin D, eating healthy foods instead of consuming a lot of the junk, you can actually survive a lot of these things. And that's how a lot of people survived the last one. That's how they survive a lot of the last one. Natural stuff, natural remedies, getting your immune system in tip-top shape, right? But you have to press governments to explain to you what is it that you signed at the Geneva Agreement with the WHO. We need to know. We need to know what you signed and how it would put us in jeopardy. Because from the moment WHO says this is a problem, it's a lockdown again. It is a lockdown. So the only pushback can be us calling on our governments um, to inform us as to what you actually signed and how it is going to be beneficial to us. If it's not going to be beneficial to us, you have to get rid of it. And we have to demand things from people who we put into office. We have to demand it from them. Our life depends on it. Remember, they're part of the globalist agenda. They're part of a system and they accept it. They accept the science, whether it's good or bad. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's part of how we're going to push back against it. Look, our leaders have not said much to us about this agreement. And like I said to you, America, some other nations pulled out of it. But it is important for us to know what is it that you really signed. Listen, the amended agreements, it gives the ability, the WHO, the ability to order global lockdowns. That's why America pulled out of it. That is why
the US. So we want to establish the America. Trump has not signed it.
He has not. He has not, and he has also pulled out of the WHO. Right?
Oh, he's actually pulled out of the WHO.
They have pulled the US out. They have pulled the US out of the WHO. They pulled it out of many organizations. Climate Paris Agreement. We can talk about a lot of stuff, but we don't have the time. But what I'm saying to you here is that RFK Jr., who is the health secretary, right? He spent some time discussing to the American public why they pulled out of it. And basically what he was saying is that, look, this agreement gives the WHO people who are not, they're not even in government. They're just some bureaucrats sitting down someplace. It just gives them the ability to order global lockdowns on a whim, right? And your government will have to comply with that because it's a binding agreement. Whether they want to admit it or not, it's a binding agreement, right? And they can impose travel restrictions at a whim. They can do that if they see something is happening. Or any other measure, if they see fit to respond to what they call any nebulous potential public health risk. So crime as a public health risk in Barbados, let's have a lockdown. There's nothing you can do. Just lock it down. Lock it down. Lock it down. And these are the things that RFK Jr. was talking about, why he says, no, we can't give away America's sovereignty to a body of some men. It can't happen because these are the things that they're introducing in that binding agreement. These are the regulations that are set out and become binding. And they become binding. They became binding on July the 19th, 2025, if they were not rejected by any country that signed the agreement. Did Barbados tell you that? Did St. Vincent tell me that? Did Grenada tell Grenadians that? Trinidad? No, they have not. They have not. They have not. All we know, ministers of health, people went to these meetings, they came back, they have not reported to us anything. They have not. And that is what is happening around us. And this is why RFK Jr. says in the US, America will not be part of this because this is a binding agreement. And how can a WHO just tell America, lockdown, and you can't tell me anything? I have to do it. And the WHO can tell me when to come out of it. So my country must just be in a lockdown, losing economy, losing money, losing because you say so. No, it can't happen. So they pulled out of that, right? Did St. Vincent pull out of it? No. Did Barbados? Did St. Lucia? Did Grenada? No, they did not. As a matter of fact, did any minister of health in any of these countries come and tell us about that? No, they did not. So this proposed amendment, what took place here, it opens the door, basically, I would say, to this kind of narrative management, propaganda, and censorship again. That's what it does, because they will be the one guiding the communication. They said, in these things this time around. That's what they said, because they have to get rid of misinformation, they said, and disinformation. That was a big part of the meeting with this amendment. So they would be guiding the narrative or the propaganda and the censorship. Anything that pops up one more time. And RFK Jr. spoke to that as well. He says the United States can cooperate with any nation, but it is not going to jeopardize the civil liberties of the US or undermine the Constitution of the US or secede any American treasured sovereignty to any organization. Look, listen to me. What you heard what he said there? He said that he's not going to give away American civil liberties, undermine their Constitution, or secede any of America's sovereignty to a body of men. What the hell our Caribbean countries are doing? Giving away our civil liberties? Seceding our sovereignty? Undermining our Constitution?
But let me ask you something. I know, oh my goodness, 902. My last question, please, I beg you.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. When they have now, according to the WF and the WHO, crime is now a public health issue.
Yep.
As I'm listening to you, the WHO then is going to handle the lockdowns then.
Correct.
Wow. So when we make public crime a public health issue, do you understand that, guys? Then
So,
the WHO will have a hand in
but
all the lockdowns and the curfews and all, because it is now a public health issue. Wow.
absolutely correct. And that is why you been hear them touting all the time. Everybody all of a sudden crime as a public health. Crime as a public health. And the WHO has been talking about crime as a public health a lot. So if the WHO think, look, this Caribbean region has too many gun crimes all of a sudden, we are declaring that crime is a public health pandemic. Let's get some lockdown and get the crime under control. What the hell can Mia Mottley do? What the hell can Gonzalez do? What the hell can Kamala do? What the hell can Deacon Mitchell do? You just have to secede. You sign that agreement. It's a binding agreement. And I don't think that these people have the guts to pull out of these agreements because it's what comes with them. You understand what I'm saying? It's what you get from these organizations. You don't want to give up the $2 you have. But let me say this quickly because my bed is calling me. And I tell you what, because Marcia, we have to come back and talk about all of this thing.
Yes, we should.
It will take me, like I said to you, a lifetime. We'll have to have wake, tea and buns, all these things, cocoa tea and bakes, all these things. To have
You know what we should do? We should
because
set it up where you're going. We do it, and you're going straight to your channel as well. I'll talk to you about that. Yeah?
Well, that's not a problem. That's not a problem at all.
Because we need
can
to
always
keep this is great education, and we need to keep it going.
Yes, and I tell you what. Listen to this. Listen to this good. This is the last thing I'm going to say before I jump into my pajamas. Listen to this good. Because the rain is coming down very heavy, and since I was a kid, I love rain. I love to sleep when rain is coming. Listen to this good.
Yes.
Listen to this good. By definition, Marcia, crime, gun violence cannot be a public health crisis. That is just utter foolishness. And no group of bureaucrats with the WHO and no group of doctors or politicians can just invent a public health crisis by simply declaring one. It just cannot happen. And they need to stop their foolishness. I get pretty angry, and I get pretty angry with these things because they just can't, and they should not be allowed to do it. And that is why I often say our people need to wake up and take the bull by the horn. And even if you vote for a party and you vote for a government, you have to declare to them that there's just no way, by definition, no way that any crime, any gun violence can just be declared a public health crisis. It is utter foolishness. You can't declare it a public health crisis by just inventing it. They're inventing it. It's foolishness. Gun violence, crime is not in the same category as some disease someplace. It's just foolishness.
Yes.
Gun violence, Marcia, like you see it today, even in Barbados or in St. Vincent, it may be widespread. Gun violence may be widespread, right? It may be widespread. But that does not turn it into a public health crisis. Bullets do not float around in the air randomly looking for victims. They don't do that. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes.
They don't float around in the air looking for victims. Bullets don't do that. And they don't float around up there, and they don't multiply and infect people. That's not how they operate. Somebody has to aim it at you for something to happen to you. And if you look at it, a lot of research has been gone into this. Guns possessed by individuals, not owned by individuals, and they're saying that more than 99% of those guns that people walk around with criminals have, more than 99% of the guns, let me put it this way, let me don't mix it up. More than 99% of the guns owned by licensed firearm holders are never really used in a crime. Right? So they're never really used to commit a crime, or never used really, they hardly used in a crime. You're talking about 99% of the guns that are owned by firearm holders, illegal firearm holders, right? So the point is, if you're looking at 99% owned by firearm holders, legal people who have guns, never used in a crime, ready to commit a crime. So we have this 1% floating around. How the hell does that become a public health crisis? You remember what I said to you, gun violence is widespread, yes, and we accept it is widespread, right? But that does not make it a public health crisis. And you can't lock me down in my house to get mental health issues because you don't know how to solve gun crime. What you have in these countries are a lot of people who get into office, and like I said, most of them selected to carry out an agenda. And that is why you want to know what is happening with crime and why crime can't be solved. Well, let's watch. Crime starts in the home. That's where it starts. It starts when a child is 5, 6, 7, and 8, and they do things, and a parent don't rebuke them. That's where crime starts. You understand? That is where it starts. A 5, 6, 7-year-old, they turn over a bucket of something, or they say something nasty at a party, and the parents laugh. Right there. That's where crime starts. That's where crime starts. Without rebuking the child, that is where crime starts. Let's get real, Marcia. These people need to get real. That is where it starts, right? We have a school system. We don't no longer discipline our students. We give the students rights over adults who are with them from 9 to 3, who they spend most of their time with. We give them rights over the teachers. So we cut out all the discipline in school, and we say children have more rights than adults. And that is where crime starts. Let's get real. Let us get real and stop this foolishness about crime as a public health. You understand? And let's get real. When police wants to do their job, and you have a group of policemen who want to do their job, and they pick up a drug dealer or somebody who commits a crime, and because these people have friends in high and low places, they can get off with a slap on the wrist. That is where crime starts and perpetrates even more. So let us stop this foolishness about crime as some public health, and because of gun violence, it should become a public health, and you should lock me down in my house for 2 weeks, and let's find a way to solve this issue. No, it's not. It's a crime we're solving. It's shutting down you and me and others who speak against the narrative and the foolishness that they're doing to shut us up for a while so that they can carry out what they want to carry out. That is what it's all about. It's not a damn thing about no public health. Let's get real, and people need to be real. And I get very passionate about these things because of the foolishness leaders want to perpetrate on populations. And we have to stop. This is the last thing I'm saying. We have to stop idealizing these politicians.
Yes.
If you want to vote, go vote. I'm not stopping you. That is your right so to do. Go vote if you want to. All I am saying, do not love these people so much that you can't see when they are wrong. Do not do it. Do not love them to the point that you can't see that sometimes they are the purveyors of the things that are happening in society that is all wrong. You hear me? Sometimes people don't want to talk bluntly to politicians and say what is to be said. You're not maligning politicians. You're not cursing them out. You're telling it as it is. Stop loving politicians to your detriment. You can speak with them. You can talk policy with them. You can tell them, listen, this is what you need to do to help us, the average man. You understand? But I find sometimes when you have these topics, and that is why sometimes I don't like to talk about people's prime ministers or presidents, because people seem to love these people more than themselves. You understand? You wake up tomorrow morning, you have no bread in your house, you have no this in your house. These people can eat, they can sleep comfortable, and they can live. You, on the other hand, have to struggle your daily lives. After 10 years, these people can get pensions to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. You work your bottom off, and as they say in the Caribbean, you work your ass off till you're 60 and 65, and then they want to push it to 70, and sometimes you die without getting that pension. Stop loving these people to your detriment. Go vote if you want to vote, but have your best interests at heart. Firstly, and with that, rain is down, and I'm going to my bed, Marcia. Have a good night.
Yes, and you have to make a promise to be on air that you're coming back. You've got, because we only touch on 2. We did we did health, and we did crime. Okay, so we need to touch on the climate change and some other things. And we're gonna talk, and everybody, St. Vincent Times. I don't need to tell you all how to find that. Just go on YouTube, Sent, don't do SVG time, do Saint ST Vincent Times, and you
Yeah.
or type in Ernesto Cook, and you're going to be able to find him. Message me if you can't find him. Go and like and subscribe to his channel, please. Dave had put it up earlier. Go and like and subscribe to his channel. This is amazing. And we're staying as one. Okay, Ernesto, we're
Absolutely.
staying as one.
Absolutely.
God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I want to thank you once again, Marcia, for inviting me. Let me give you some Barbadian now. I want to thank you for inviting me tonight to the program. And I want to thank my friend Tyrone Blackman for bigging me up as always. I say good night to the people of Barbados. I hope you have a good night. Stay safe. God bless you. Yeah, Marcia, I know the Bajan language pretty well. I spent some time in Barbados. I have a lot of friends over there. I have some families over there as well. So I know the Barbadian language pretty good. Take it easy.
You're better than me. If I talk it, they laugh at me. All right.
All right, then. Take it easy,
Okay.
Marcia. All
God
right.
bless. Yeah, bye-bye. That was, oh my gosh, that was really, really great. And what I will say to everybody, anything you hear on here, what I say to you is go and research it. Promise me. Go back, listen over, and research it. Research it. It's too important for you to just take everything on here and don't research it yourself and be convinced in it yourself. Or call me back and say, Marcia, but I found this. Okay? And let's delve into this together. Don't move. Don't move. Now, I wanna we're gonna Miss McLean is gonna come on, but there's some issues that I need to touch before she comes on, right? Now, we heard, did you hear our granddaddy, Caswell Franklin? That's our daddy. That's it, the granddaddy it is, okay? Granddaddy Caswell Franklin said what? They want to these are supposed to the polygraph test, the lie detector test, they're supposed to be voluntary, but they're trying in a subtle way, right? To bring it in and to kind of try and they're almost like they're trying to pass a good one on us, right? And trying to, force the port workers, the workers at the port. Now, we believe, yes, it is important that if it's there and, they need to take it, that, okay, they volunteer to take it. Nobody's saying that. But as far as Caswell Franklin is concerned, that all the cabinet should take the lie detector test. So this is a picture somebody sent to me this evening. Who is this taking the lie detector? Who is the first one in Barbados that needs to take the lie detector test? Who is this person on my screen taking the lie detector test? Anybody? This is a lie detector test that is been happening, Huh? Who is taking the lie detector test here? Anybody can figure it out? Who is this person taking the lie detector test? How you think she's going to fare with this lie detector? Is the machine going to just make pure noise and go off? All Caswell Franklin says all of them should take the lie detector. Do you think the PM should be the first one to take the lie detector test? Should she be the first one to take it? And the people should ask the questions. The people should ask the questions. We should ask them the questions. And she should be the first one to take the lie detector test. Right? So we agree with Caswell Franklin, the cabinet, and all of these government officials. And it should be administered by an independent body. They said yes. Hurricane says, is the machine going to be on or pretending to be on? Huh? The people should ask the questions. And she should be the first one to line up to take the lie detector test. Huh? Pedro, you're not getting me in trouble. I only am talking about a lie detector test. I'm not talking about anything else. Okay? I don't know why you're trying to say that she should take a drug test. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Yeah. Yes, they should all take it. They should be the first. So we are in agreement with Caswell Franklin about that. And as far as we're concerned, we are not the loyal opposition. We will not sit down and let them force that on anybody inside of this country. They will not force it on any worker in here as long as we have breath in our bodies, loyal opposition. All right? Tyrone said the first question should be, did you take the job? Yeah. Now, as you mentioned, Carol from NCM should take the test, the lie detector test. I want to bring up something here, and I have a few questions. Dave, if you could take this down for me, and I'm going to send you a picture. So I'm moving through some things really fast tonight because I got some very some good information, right, from good source tonight. Something about the NCF. Hold your horses. Don't go. Don't go, I tell you. Dave, can you put up? I'm going to give you this because this is coming hot off the press, Dave. Okay? Now, this young lady, her name is Chrissy D. All right? So, Dave, if you check your WhatsApp, her name is Chrissy D. And Chrissy D is an artist. She's an artist. She sings. And she's also she's also a radio announcer. She also MCs different shows, etc. Right? She used to MC the Bim Got Talent. I think Bim Got Talent, and she's also she's also a radio host. She does a lot of hosting and radio announcing, right? And so, yes, so she's on Fireworks. Okay, so Chrissy D is on Fireworks. All right. This young lady here, beautiful young lady. So, what I'm getting to understand, I'm understanding something, and then I will ask some questions. And if Miss Roberts is listening, if Carol Roberts is listening, I'm hoping that she'd be able to answer these questions. All I'm asking is questions. Because if this has occurred, then the loyal opposition needs to be aware of it. You need to be aware of it. And anybody who's listening, and you can verify or unverify. Say, Marcia, no, it didn't happen. We did our best. We called around. We did the best. And so I'm asking questions. We have some solid information, but I did not get Chrissy D herself. I did try. Okay? I tried several times before the show started, and I called and I did try to call some of the people who are involved in this. All right, and we're going to be following it. I'm getting to understand that a gentleman was on the fireworks, VOB fireworks program. VOB again in the hot seat. VOB fireworks program, and that a particular gentleman was being interviewed by this young lady, Chrissy D. And the gentleman that was being interviewed said on the program, it's alleged that he said that the NCF CEO does not attend Calypso tents, but goes to private parties. So all the tents that's happening, it's being alleged by the guest on the show that the NCF CEO does not attend Calypso tents, but goes to private parties instead. It's an allegation. It's alleged that the CEO was told about the comments, alleged. And it was alleged that after the CEO heard about it, that the CEO would say that the government would no longer be sponsoring this young lady's trip as an artist to represent Barbados as a music event in a particular country. I'm leaving out some of the details. Okay? So she was supposed to go to a particular country to represent Barbados as a cultural ambassador, artist. But because the comments were said on her show, it is being alleged that that opportunity was now taken from her. Now, I'm asking some question. Is it true that Chrissy D has suddenly had NCF sponsorship to represent Barbados as a music event in Guyana withdrawn? I'm going to call the country. Is it true that Chrissy D has suddenly had the NCF sponsorship to represent Barbados at a music event in Guyana withdrawn? It's important to us, loyal opposition. It's not gossip. Why is this important? We have been talking about the NCF and how and calling for transparency at the NCF and how things are managed and done at the NCF. And if it was withdrawn, if the opportunity was withdrawn from this young lady, might such action have anything to do with the remarks on a radio show not made by Chrissy D, but by a guest concerning the CEO of the NCF? Might such action have anything to do with remarks on a radio show not made by Chrissy D, but by a guest about the CEO, the NCF CEO? Now, all I'm asking are questions. It's important because with the loyal opposition, we're about justice. We're about freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And the same way that we're standing with the announcer, we will stand with Chrissy D. If this is true. I tried reaching her before, but this has been sent to me by reliable sources. However, because I did not speak to her directly, I am asking questions on her behalf. I've never met the young lady. I've never met her. Not relatives to me, not a relative to me, not a friend of mine. Doesn't matter. I am standing on principle. That's what the Marcia Week show is about. So we need Miss Roberts. I know that some of you, that a lot of them, you watch the program and you can go ahead and tell her I'm asking the questions. And once we understand if that is what has happened to this young lady, I am telling you, we have not heard the end of this yet. We are calling for transparency at the NCF. We're not going to stand by any political victimization, any marginalization, nothing of the sort. Because today for her, tomorrow for me and you. We don't have to know her. Good. So that's it until further notice. We are also watching the results of the pick of the crop judging, which is going to end on Friday night, 2 nights from now, and the results are going to be announced on Saturday. And with all that we have seen of the announcer, they've got to tell the people a good reason. I know it is said that the judges, you know, their decision is final, but we were going to ask. If the announcer is not there, we're going to ask some questions of the judges. And the way we're going to ask the questions, I've heard you, my people, you've messaged me, and the way you're telling me to say the way we're going to ask the message is on the streets. We will go with our placards because we're standing for freedom of speech and freedom of expression. That's what it is. We don't have to have any friendship with the announcer, nor Chrissy D, or whoever it is. Okay? We stand on principle. Yes? Very important. Okay. So enough of that. And I'm hoping that we are, you know me, I'm not going to stop until I get to the bottom. And if I get answers to the questions, I will come on and tell you what the answers are. Okay? I got the report and I come on and I ask questions. That's it. And I will come back and tell you what the answers are to the questions. All right. Now, let's go over to Guyana. Okay, before I get to Miss McLean, just quickly, we're going to make 2 stops, Guyana and Trinidad, real quickly, because while I was on, Miss McLean has something that she has to speak to us about, very important. So I'm going to, that is about Barbados, I'm going to bring up that last before we leave. Now, there is a presidential candidate in Guyana, and he is ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED. And if I'm pronouncing it wrong, I know somebody send it for me and I will listen to it. I practiced before I came on. ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED. I believe that's the name. Miss McLean can always send it to me. Say it for me. ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED. If I'm saying it wrong, you can always put it in. I will listen to it and get the correct thing. I was practicing up. All right. Now, Mr. Mohammed, again, I don't know the man. I'm not advocating for his party, so you understand, my Guyanese friends. I'm not advocating for his party. I've had the APNU on, Honorable Coretta McDonald. We've had the opposition leader on the program as well. And I'm not advocating for Mr. Mohammed's party. Again, I am speaking of justice. I'm speaking of what is right, of people's rights. Now, this man has seen some levels of victimization in Guyana. Now, what I'm going to speak of has nothing to do with the case that is against him in the US. That's not what I'm discussing. And it's important to our scenario, in our scenario here. We have an opposition leader here, Mr. Ralph Thorne. We have other opposition candidates who are going to be running for office, etc. I am saying to Barbados, don't put your head in the sand and don't get distracted. Watch what's happening over there in Guyana. Watch the Guyana elections. This man here, Mr. ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED, is gaining a lot of traction in Guyana. He is a presidential candidate in Guyana. And up to last weekend, they created these local charges. Has nothing to do with the U.S. issue, the issues that he's alleged to have with the U.S. authorities. However, police turned up at his house without a warrant. After 11 at night. Claiming that they want to have a discussion with him. No warrant, just turn up at his house. Turns out, it seems like it is being alleged that they wanted to arrest him. The next morning, the man got up and went with his lawyer to the police station. He was, they questioned him and they released him. The point I'm trying to make to us, Barbadians, open your eyes. Open your eyes. What is going to happen in Barbados at election time? This government, as far as I can see, they will stop at nothing. They will do anything to retain their power. These in this country, and and those in Guyana. Whatever the party, whether it's APNU, whatever. Now, what happened 2 days ago? Dave, if you could go back to the writing on the that's to the right of this. Local banks have cut ties with his supporters. So ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED, all of the candidates that are running, all that happened is that, if you can focus, Dave, more on the right. I want to see, I'm sorry, we don't have the, if somebody could send me the correct thing that I can put it up, or probably if you go down into the, okay, thank you. No, go down some more. I really am looking for the, yes. Wrong, no, not the right one. All right, but I can talk about it because I read it today. My bad in not sending it to, if you click on, you see the story? Yes, click on that story. Yes, can you? Right, thank you. Local banks cutting ties with candidates from ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED's party. Don't think it's far-fetched. I want to just drop this little nugget in your mind. Okay? I want to drop a thought in your mind, Barbados. So their candidates, this man has a party called WIN, right? It's called WIN. And he has political candidates, just like UPP might have candidates, DLP has candidates, or whichever party has candidates, okay? Local banks have decided to cut ties with the candidates from ARZUDDIN MOHAMMED's party. They just got a letter and told to come and get a certified check, get their money out of the bank, and they're cutting ties with them. So I want you to pay attention to this. The Dominicans came on here and they told you the opposition, the leader of the largest political party in Dominica was actually arrested only a couple months ago in Dominica. Caribbean, we are going down a slippery slope. I'm just saying that. And I am not discussing anything about this man's, anything with America. I'm talking about on the ground. Why would they turn up at his house without a warrant to arrest him? And that came days after nomination day when they saw the crowds that came out for this man. And I'm going to spend some time to show you some of the work that he's doing in Guyana. Here in Barbados, I went to get my hair cut. Guyanese was cutting my hair, and all they're talking about, he's a black Guyanese, talking about this man, that he's able to unify the country. I don't know. I was hearing that kind of talk from that young man for the first time. It'd be interesting to hear Guyanese in Barbados, what their thoughts are. I don't know. But I just wanted to point that out to you. And those that are in the opposition in Barbados, I want you to think, because they're cut off the same cloth. Mia Mottley said, that president over there, that's her brother. That's what she said. Listen, the last thing I'm going to do, I want to hop over to Trinidad and to show you that nasty behavior, what they did to the former Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. And in my estimation, it's a nasty act. He's on his way to Antigua. And I'm sure that's an easy one to look up, to put up, Dave. He's on his way to former Prime Minister ROWLEY was on his way to Antigua. And when he got to Antigua, the way he was treated as though he's a criminal. I am speaking about it, you know. I'm speaking about it because you know why? I can see that kind of thing happening right here in Barbados. I remember when Prime Minister Thunderstorm left office, the way they painted this man in such a terrible light, the lies that they told on Prime Minister Thunderstorm. You imagine they detained the former Prime Minister and he does not have a criminal record? Now, I will say that the current Prime Minister said that his name, he said, okay, let me read the article. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley Monday said he had been detained on a stopover in Antigua and Barbuda, and that his name had been placed on a watch list on the Paris-based International Police, Interpol. He is a Prime Minister. He will understand what that is all about. Do I know Mr. Rowley? No. Am I a part of his party? No. But I see the trends of that in Barbados, because when I was going, traveling to Europe with somebody else from Barbados, a lawyer from Barbados, every time that I stopped, they took me off the line. Why? I'm traveling on a Barbados passport. Me not kill nobody. Me not hurt nobody. Why? You see this victimization thing? I am telling you, Barbados, be careful. You hear I tell you? And that is why I say to you, I will not use anybody running in the opposition. I am not using my platform to tear them down, because I'm telling you, you see this government? Don't put anything past this government. You hear what I tell you? Why would they disgrace this man like this? It's my opinion. This is how I feel about it. They have disgraced him. Rowley, a trained geologist who stepped down from active politics in April, said that he was on his way to Montserrat to participate in activities marking the 30th anniversary of the Montserrat volcano opening last Monday when he was stopped. Rowley described the ordeal as a dastardly act of political persecution, accusing state entities in TNT of fabricating and executing what he called a vicious defamation campaign. This is not just a mistake, it is deliberate, calculated attempt to tarnish my name on an international stage. And Rowley says it is state-sponsored slander. Now, I don't know if that's what it is, but I'm saying to you that as a former Prime Minister, this is dirty and nasty. And I'm speaking about it because I know this government is capable of it. This one in Barbados here, capable of it. And I will say that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago issued a statement and said that their government had nothing to do with it. But why was he stopped? Barbados, please wake up. Please, please stop nitpicking everything, anybody, everything and nitpicking every leader that comes up. Listen, can we come together, please? Yeah. All right. So that's what I have to say. I have to say on that. Last thing I did announce that Sonny not Sunny, Lynn Boynton. On some of my ads, you would see that I had that she was supposed to be on. I made a mistake. She's on Friday. Okay, so Lynn Boynton is going to be on Friday, and that's when she's going to talk about agriculture, which is what I announced today, and I had her name. It's when after I sent it out, then she reminded me. So I made a big mistake, and I apologize to her and to the viewers. So that's why you did not have her on tonight. Okay. All right. So that's my thing on Mr. Rowley that I've never met. All right. But let's thank you, Dave. Thank you. Okay. Miss McLean, welcome to the Marcia Week show. You're muted, ma'am.
Good evening. No, you hearing me?
Yes, good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the Marcia Week show.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to have you. I know you weren't scheduled to be on, but I cut the calls and we're just gonna so I'll give you the last 15 minutes, ma'am.
Yes, I just want to say 2 words. I know Mr. Rowley. I would have met the Prime Minister, and I just want to say I find it extremely strange because I've had to deal with Interpol issues. The government of Trinidad said they had nothing to do with it. They did not say that they were not informed about it. Because if somebody else had reason to put his name on a list, the country, if it is participating in protocols with Interpol, would know that. And certainly, he should have been treated differently. So I find it very strange, but I will say no more because we don't really have the time. Yeah. I find it highly offensive. And one day I will share with you how we had to deal with a situation of a visitor who is coming to Barbados, who was on a list, a very high profile South African, and what transpired and it was done with the utmost decency and everything.
That's in your thing. I want to continue this conversation, Miss McLean, because
we can do that.
I can see this government doing that.
Let me tell you what happened. We were having this was during one of our international and biennial diaspora conferences.
Yes.
And a prominent South African, I wouldn't say no more because it would identify the connections and so on, was coming as part of a group of Africans to Barbados. And I got an urgent call from the chief immigration officer and the person who was hosting them, who had invited them to Barbados, a Barbadian who was living between Nigeria and South Africa. And I got a call to say that they discovered that this gentleman was on an Interpol list. Now, if he were landed in Barbados, once you come in and you clear immigration, you're essentially landed. Because we have an agreement, he would have to have been arrested. And the chief immigration officer at the time felt that it was strange because this person had to transit the UK, which is also has an agreement with Interpol. So the question was, why are you allowing him to exit, to fly through London, come to Barbados and want us in Barbados to arrest this very prominent person? Okay. And so I was advised. So the question was, what do we do? I said, what are the options? I was told we can refuse to land him, to give him and explain. The gentleman was put on the phone. He explained to me that was not supposed to be active, etc. I said and I explained to him that we were party to this Interpol agreement and what the rules were. And the only option I had was for him to turn around, get back on that plane, and return to South Africa. Interestingly enough, he agreed. I felt so bad about it because this was part of a celebration and so on. But he was very accommodating. I said, but you need to ensure that this thing is sorted out would you believe the gentleman contacted me having passed through London and nothing happened because they did not arrest him there. I think they were trying to create an international scandal. Okay. He was not arrested and he got back home. But imagine how tiring it is to fly from South Africa to London to Barbados and have to turn around and do it. The point I'm making about that story was that we were informed as we were required to be informed as participants. So it means, and understand that nowadays you would realize that there are these pre-clearance lists. Before you travel, people know that you are on that flight and so on. And so it is interesting. I mean, and this is Gary Cohn, right? Gary Cohn, former prime minister who left office in April, be into July. So this happened the other day, early April, May, June, not even 3 months properly. I don't believe that Prime Minister ROWLEY has left office. If it's 3 months, 4 months, not a long time.
I think it's April. I think
he left in April. So I was trying to.
I think Dave can verify for me because of the.
He left in April. The thing said April, but I'm just saying because we are, we have one more week, so to speak, in July. But I read the story and I smile. I say, sometimes we are told things, but the answer is not in what you're told, but what you're not told. Because as far as I'm concerned, my question, I guess if you understand the system, you would ask question. My question would be, you are not party to him getting him on or have him being placed on the list. But were you aware as a country, as a jurisdiction which has a relationship with Interpol, that his name was on the list? Because I will say this, if that is the case, he's a former prime minister. Do you inform him that this is the, I mean, and even if to me, I don't know how things played out in Antigua, but I also believe that there's a level of respect due to anybody. Yeah. But certainly to a former, it is just, I use an expression, it's passing strange. It's not.
Yeah, because as you're saying, Interpol is going to call the country.
Yes,
so
the country
it's interesting that but
red flags come up, you see, because there are systems that explain how these flags would come up. You know?
But I mean, you're a woman of grace, and that is the kind of administration you are part of. And I just want to address something here. And that's one of the things I want to say to Barbadians. Let me tell you something. It's today for you and today for me and tomorrow for you. Some of you on here, I see some of you are my friends, and you are saying that you don't business with ROWLEY because he was against he was pushing the jabs. Come on, people. So if you were sitting in Barbados and heard that they locked me up in Europe, what were you going to say? I didn't trouble anybody, Miss McLean. I was harassed on my trip.
No, I understand these things. I understand these things, Marcia, and this is the unfortunate reality. People, tentacles reach far and wide. And games are played far and wide, and all kinds of
nasty games.
And I think that when those things, as you said today, for me, tomorrow for you, because it is unfortunate. We need to extend to people what we expect of them towards us. Do unto others. Yes. Simple. Do unto others as you would have them do unto me. I sit in places and hear people. I almost said something which would have indicated, but I will speak to that at an appropriate time. But I sit in places and hear people make up things. And people walk away believing these things. It is unfortunate. But anyhow, before I know that we don't have a lot of time, but I hope that helps people to understand what I consider to be some incongruities when it came to that story about former Prime Minister ROWLEY, And interestingly enough, as a geologist, he was going off to Montserrat to engage in things geological, But I also asked the Antiguan officials, I trust, because I don't know, I trust that they dealt with him with a level of dignity that they would extend to any citizen, any tourist, any visitor. But on that note, I will take you back. You were dealing, interestingly enough, earlier with our little friend and her dear father and Amaya, as I was trying to remember the name.
Yes.
And as I listened to that, I thought of what I wanted to raise, because I came across, and I sent you 2 items earlier. One was a press statement. These were in the media. So press statement from the National Insurance, NISS, as it is now, confirming the introduction of paternity benefits effective June the 1st, 2025. You may recall in the budget of March this year, the Minister of Finance, the minister in the Prime Minister's office, he would have, Minister Strawn, who delivered the budget, indicated that they were introducing an extension of maternity leave from 12 weeks to 14 weeks and 17 weeks if you had multiple births, and they were introducing paternity leave. Now, of course, the current legislation speaking to maternity leave is the Employment of Women Maternity Leave Act, Chapter 345A of the laws of Barbados. And then the other article was one in which there was a head of CEO of the National Insurance, Kim Chuda, was indicating, and I don't know if they've got them, because I sent them to you after you had begun the program, soon after you'd done the program. But there was a note, an article in which Kim Chuda was saying that the provision was actually in place. And there was also in that story a first-time father, and it hurt my heart really when I read it, who had been following this matter and decided to apply for paternity leave for which he was entitled, and had proceeded on leave, but had to go back to work because he was told by some people that the leave provision was not yet in effect.
Okay.
Now, I went on Parliament's website, because remember what I said, the legislation that is in place as of March, when there was the budget, and which is still in place, is the Employment of Women Maternity Leave Act 340, Chapter 345A of the laws of Barbados. Now, what's the significance of that title? It doesn't speak to paternity leave. It doesn't speak to leave for men. And therefore, my expectation was that if the government, according to what was said in the budget,
Yes.
that it was effective June the 1st, 2025, there should have been an amendment to legislation or the introduction of a new piece of legislation. I see no evidence of the first reading of any legislation relating to this item. And therefore, my understanding, if I am wrong, somebody can correct me. My understanding is that it will require a piece of legislation, and it cannot be enforced without that legislation. Now, I can tell you something. I hope that the minister didn't get it wrong, because there is a piece of legislation called the Collection of Taxes Act, Chapter 85 of the laws of Barbados. And I'll tell you what that does, or what that allows for. It allows for the provisional collection of taxes. You know, all my life as a youngster, I used to rush home as a teenager to listen to the budget. I wouldn't do that now. I could read it later or something. But you used to listen, and you would hear all the build up, the background information, the state of the economy, and so on. And then you would hear the provisions. And oftentimes you would hear something like effective midnight tonight. corporate taxes or some other taxes will either go up or down, or they will introduce one or remove one, right? And so that it goes into effect as of the date specified. But that can happen because there is legislation which allows you to do that, and that is the Collection of Taxes Act, as I mentioned, so that taxes to be effective from the date specified by the minister in the budgetary proposals can go into place, and then you come back and do what you call a validation. So you then go to Parliament and you do a validation which says, okay, because government might want to give, let's say, the citizens relief, or government may need to impose a tax to raise revenue urgently. So they will put it in place and then go and validate the necessary legislation based on the laws that allow the government to do that.
Yes.
And so I am confused. Paternity leave is not a tax. And I am not aware of any other legal arrangement that would allow government to put something in place without the requisite legislation, either new or amended, as I said. And so I felt I needed to say that. When I read it, I was confused. And I said, I trust I'm not getting too old, or that I didn't understand the procedures, or I was missing something. So I thought I would raise it here for somebody to clarify. Ms. Tudor from National Insurance has spoken to it in the article. I don't recall in reading the article that any basis for verifying that applies. And I agree with Valerie, because I haven't said it yet, but I'll say it now when you say it. Vihoy, sorry, I'm giving her a name. I hope that's her name. That's a nice sounding name, Vihoy. I hope it's a she. And well, it's a she as far as I know. But anyhow, men should get their paternity leave. Yes, and this father should get his and get the money. He was off for 2 weeks. He went back early. The sad thing about the article is that he said the mother of his child was not working, and therefore he was the breadwinner in the family, and the inability to pay or to receive payment created a problem. What I would also say, coming out of this comment by the gentleman, that it is absolutely necessary that where payments are to be made for paternity and maternity leave, they should be done promptly, because sometimes people go back to work from leave and they haven't received the money. And if you are missing your salary, you need to have the payment. So I agree. So I really figure, Marcia, that we're supposed to be a rules-based society, a country ruled by the rule of law is so important. And my question to Minister Strawn and by they're the policymakers, and by extension to Ms. Tudor, I suppose they might have been given an instruction and said and told, because if you go to the article, in fact, if you go to the article, there's a section of the article towards the end, the second article with Ms. Tudor. Towards the end of that article, there's a statement which makes me wonder if the minister understands the rules. And I'll pull it up in a second, because I think it's important that we look at the bottom of the article. It says, when contacted, Tudor confirmed that the paternity benefit officially took effect on June the 1st. The paternity benefit is payable for 3 weeks, etc., etc. Responding directly to the father's case, Tudor said the young man is not out of time. He has 6 months, because you have 6 months to claim the leave, right? So he can still make a claim. That's not the issue. He wanted to be on leave at the time of the birth of the child. But it then goes on to say, Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strawn, confirmed to Barbados today that Cabinet had approved the paternity leave policy and its accompanying reforms, including extended maternity leave and a new child grant. Here's what it goes on to say, and it's in quotation marks. What is being drafted are the regulations, it looks like, which are, this is not quite clear in my copy, which are currently with the Chief Parliamentary Council, he said. Strawn added that the Ministry of Labour, led by Minister Colin Jordan, is overseeing the process and liaising with the NIS on implementation. Well, I say to Minister Strawn and to his Minister of Labour colleague, Colin Jordan, get it right. Y'all don't seem to understand the rules. If you come up, yeah, here it is. Come down. It says fathers are encouraged to collect and complete the application forms, and then it goes on to tell you what is required: certified copy of certificate of confinement, etc. But then it says Minister in the Ministry of Finance, Ryan Strong, confirmed that to Barbados today that Cabinet had approved the policy, the paternity policy. Approving the policy does not mean that you have the legal mechanisms to make that put that policy in place. So you can come up with all the work and write up the policy and identify the necessary reforms and all of that. But the law has to be, you have to have the legislation in place. So what is being drafted says to me that, and so my search was accurate in that there was no first reading of any related bill or debate of any bill related to this or the passage of any bill. And so at this point in time, employees, and perhaps this is something that Mr. Strickland can speak to next time he's on, the passage, unless that legislation is in place, you can't do nothing.
Yes.
And you see, for something, and this is what I don't understand. It is important. And this is a discussion we used to have, because even with the collection of taxes legislation, we were of the opinion that we should still try hard where you were going to put provisions in place to make sure that the legislation either was there for immediate implementation or that it was addressed as soon as possible. And that is taxes, where you're covered by the law, by the piece of legislation that I mentioned, Chapter 85 of the Laws of Barbados. But in this case, you are out on a wing.
Yeah.
You know, on a limb, sorry.
On a limb, yeah, I got you. But I think I'm so glad that you have raised this. Just, you know, when it reminds me of when the Sunday before, when you called me and said, Marcia, can we borrow your platform? You tricked me. And
I beg again tonight. I laughed when I sent you this because I remember.
You remember, and it was right about now, you know, whenever we're doing
and it was about national insurance too.
And it was, and it's crop over. So what I promise I'm going to do, Miss McLean, you send me the information. Actually, I'm going to let you connect with Mr. Strickland and see if this is something that you can come together with him on, and we either because he normally deals with these topics, see what can be done whenever he comes back on. All right. And we need to do something faster on it, and I really appreciate you coming on and actually just letting us know what is happening. Aaron Hunt is saying he heard about this at work. DeVere Smith said, great observation, Miss McLean. Jonathan B said electioneering, because if it's not law yet, but then they're claiming, oh, it was a policy, the date is gone. Have you made it law so that it can it can work, right? Well, thanks again to you, Miss McLean, and to our guests. We remember Amaya, little Amaya, who needs a liver transplant. And she needs, I have the list here of the what she needs before she can get that transplant. She needs a B positive donor, somebody aged 18 to 43 who is willing to give her a little piece of their liver so that she can live. Her father is O positive and he is going to be the primary donor, but They want a B positive donor to be a backup, to travel with them, to go to Colombia for the surgery to be done. It's a very important surgery. It's a life and death situation. She needs to gain weight, so they are giving her Pediasure and with fresh compressed coconut oil, and they're giving her eggs and so on, trying to get her. She has to put on weight before she can do the surgery. And of course, the other things, the passports and so on, we would have raised money for her to do all of the preparation, the suitcases, and we're not worried about that. But the number 1 and 2 are the things that are out of our control. It is a B positive donor. We need somebody to come forward, and she needs to gain weight in order to do the surgery, right? We want to thank Mr. Ernesto Cook for raising some very important points there that I believe will send a lot of us in research. I say to us, research. Before we discard it, research it and be satisfied that, okay, yeah, I don't believe in it. I don't believe what he's saying. But don't just hear it and push it away. We did that before. There was a time before we did that. And a lot of the things that we were saying were conspiracy. We've now come to realize that some of it, it wasn't conspiracy. It was the truth. It was real. So I say, research it before you throw it away. All right. And keep your eye on Guyana's politics. Keep your eye on the elections in Guyana. Barbados, please. Don't take your eye. Don't say because it's Guyana. You watch Guyana. Watch St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Watch Dominica. Watch what is happening. We might very much realize that these people are moving with a playbook, because a lot of these that are in power are all friends. Be careful, Barbados. Okay? God bless you all. So I'm going to see you, on Friday with Dr. Ferdinand Nichols. Is going to be on Friday, because I've got to be at rehearsal with my children. All right. So Friday he'll be on, and we are going to give you the follow-up on Chrissy D and the NCF and Carol Roberts. We're going to let you know, and by that time we probably will know if Ronnie is on, if the announcer is on, on the lineup, right? If he got through. And we are going to hopefully we're going to try to get something on this paternity leave as well, some more information as well. We're going to talk about Walk Holy. Lynn Boynton is going to be on talking to you about agriculture and some ideas, some things for you to think about. All right. So that's what's going to happen on Friday. God bless you all, and have a good night. I'm not sure if Dave has any music. Any music, Dave? We are late. No, it doesn't seem like any music. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining Rumination with Andrew. Thank you for joining. We have some good collaboration that's coming up, Miss McLean, with Africa Bridge TV Network. Rumination with Andrew. You're going to hear more about it. We're working on a flyer for it. You're going to hear more. Go on and subscribe to his channel, Rumination with Andrew. Subscribe to his channel, okay? God bless you all. I love you all. And see you the next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.